this. Okay. Oof.
I'm going to
self-driving car thing and the self-driving truck thing, you realize like all of AI is meant to destroy workers. Is meant to reduce the cost of labor. The capitalist wants to invest everything in sunk costs and black box like forms of work so that you can pay the few you can pay.
All right, let's make sure this is good. Hello, folks. Thank to say like nothing. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Save that. Ah. Hey, what's up, Insomnia Jones? Do you support Hasan even though he's racist? Well, I don't think he's racist. I don't think Hasan's racist. I am half white, half black, half Christian, half Jewish. He's never offended me, and except for the times where he freaks out on a chatter. And I'm like, bro, move on. Also, yeah, F the DSA because these people like didn't vote for Kamala, hated on her basically through the election. Oh yeah? How many DSA members were there? Why didn't Kamala Harris excite voters? Maybe she just sucks as a candidate. Maybe Joe Biden shouldn't have waited till half the election cycle was over to drop out. But welcome. Welcome, Zalia Jones. I appreciate you being here. I truly do. I welcome a diversity of opinions. I don't want just people who agree with me in here. I want people hanging out. And you're hanging out, and I appreciate you for it. Speaking of which, the most productive administration. They couldn't get a fucking wage increase passed. Because Manchin and Cinema didn't want to do it. And instead of putting any pressure on them or saying fuck the parliamentarian, they were just like, yeah, I guess we can't do it. Anyways, moving on. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Kamala Harris. Go DSA. Go AOC. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. But again, I welcome you. Diversity of opinions. All right, what am I doing? I'm uploading that. Ooh, what was that? Thank you for the subscription, Chris. Appreciate you. Okay, I'm posting. I'm posting that I'm live. All right, we're gonna be going over some of the like Comic-Con stuff because I'm excited, but I want to finish this video first.
Pay people as little as possible, but it's even great if you can just not have workers at all.
Yeah. You've written that the material related to this, that the material conditions of wage labor are the proper site of a political struggle. But when we think of feminist work around care work or Black Marxists around post work and automation as a big issue for wage laborers, why do you defend the wage as the site of political struggle and not other sites?
We had the best time. Until we got even more of it. The card that's preferred for a reason. Chase Sapphire Preferred.
Up until the 20th century, women in America, and pretty much all over the world, were...
What else is there if you're not paid a proper wage?
Captain Homer.
The...
What up? Fuck the Dem Party elites too. Hell yes, brother. What's going on? Happy Monday to you.
The feminist argument for care work, that care work should be paid properly, is a good place to start, but there's a kind of and I don't see a contradiction between what I'm saying and that necessarily, but I also feel like the kinds of dignity of work have to do with the skill of the worker and her knowledge of the work process. And so there's a kind of generalized de-skilling in our culture under capitalism, and a devaluation of work itself for managerialism. So what we're the most highly paid workers are managers. They're still wage workers. They don't live on rent, but they manage other workers and they earn the highest wage. There is a way of thinking about work and the organization of work as something that values the skill of the worker and says the worker should know how best to organize the work in a large organization. So the question is organization.
Message rejected. I don't know why the message is rejected. Retracted. Oh, did you retract it yourself? John Lithium, what's going on? What's happening? I'm posting that I'm live. Let me also do this thing on Blue Sky, where you can set your profile to live. Can't you do that on Twitter too? I don't know how to do that on Twitter though. Yeah, we're gonna be live like all day today. How do I do that on Twitter? Where like my profile avatar is red and you can click it. Can I stream to Twitter? Hey, Raven Luna Thick. What's going on, Raven Luna Thick? Been a minute since you popped over on Twitch. Yeah, how do I like go live on Twitter? Nah, I don't care. But why should the worker have any say in the company if they aren't risking? Well, because the company doesn't exist without the workers there. They aren't risking going bankrupt? Yeah, they are. If the company goes bankrupt, they're all fired. Also, who determines how much money they should be paid? However much money the company is valued. The company is valued $20, then it's not a very valuable company. If it's valued $1 billion, then it's pretty valuable. Those workers are pretty valuable to make that company worth $1 billion. Yeah, and Raven, we're just going through the rest of this video here, and then we're gonna check out some of the like trailers and the news from CDC, Comic-Con, CDCC, no SDCC, Jesus Christ, San Diego Comic-Con.
And how you organize work. So a care worker, I don't even know the literature on this, but care work is seen as a one-on-one work. But to create a system and network of care workers, of carers who have these kinds of skills, that can only be organized along the levels of wages. It's not a one-on-one. It's actually a set of skills in a
Also
profession
uploading a
that should be
video.
more valued, but is presently
behind
devalued
the scenes a
today,
little
especially
bit.
childcare workers, senior care workers. My parents were both very ill last year, and they both passed away. And the
I'm
people who
sorry.
really worked to take care of them at the end were mostly immigrant women, non-college educated women whose profession was this kind of care work. And to organize, they are wage workers, and one should organize that level of work in such a way that they are fairly compensated and that the dignity of their work, which is so important in an aging society, is recognized. They're only organized by temporary organizations. They don't have any stability of jobs, and they don't have any seniority with regard to like the skills that they accrue over the ages, because it's all about like whether someone liked you or not. Oh, someone liked you, therefore you're okay. But there's actually a certain really important set of skills within care work itself that should be recognized. They're like gig workers, temp workers. They're organized as gig workers and temp workers now.
Yeah, so how do we actually make a coalition, if you have any tips, against both the elite of the PMC and the Trumps of the world in the US
This
now?
is the big question, isn't it? How do we... Okay, so I feel like most...
Any company that can't pay at least the living wage should not exist. But can't the worker just go get a different... No, they can't go get a different job. They don't get debt if the company goes out of business. I mean, my grandparents bought a gas station, had to shut it down, set them back even now. Well, you know, again, they bought a gas station. They're owners. I understand it's a small business, but you have to pay people is it worth it to keep the business open? Then you got to pay them how much it's worth to you to keep the business open. And no, the worker can't just go get another job. Have you tried looking for a job in the last year or two? More? It's hard, bro.
people understand and rebel against the irrationality of the liberals and the actual I don't know, Philistine pure-willed power of Trumpers. But I think leftist intellectuals have to lead again. We played a recumbent role. We've been eclipsed by something that has to do with this kind of pseudo-populism that rose up after Thatcher was elected here and Reagan was elected in the States. And I think that there has to be a kind of a voice of dissent with regard to liberalism and right-wingism. And it has to be strongly articulated as rejecting just the diversification of elites or recognition politics, and articulating that the complexity of modern societies demands expertise, but not managerialism, and that work should be managed by workers for the benefit of the majority, not for the narcissistic satisfaction of the minority, be they capitalist or liberal elites.
Good luck to you.
I may not see it in my lifetime, but it's the job for this next generation, and we're not even close to something that means social transformation, but I hope that we leave that door open for a kind of revolution.
Well, thank you, Catherine. That was very interesting.
Thanks.
That was interesting. Yeah, most job postings aren't real. All right, so I figured this one is funny because there's no way I'm gonna like play this on this space or anything. Y'all have seen, I know y'all have seen Mr. Jumbo. Okay? Mr. Jumbo by Kyle Gordon. No, it's not. Am I still streaming? Because I'm like, why is YouTube blocked? I swear to God, this is not a Vulture article. Hey, what this? Okay. Mr. Jumbo. I know y'all have seen this fucking video, right?
Out there in the African sun, do you ever get tired? Hey there, Mr. Jumbo, will you share with me the jambalaya living in your soul? And then he told me, well, I couldn't speak his language, I couldn't even understand a word, but I knew his meaning was what I decided I had heard. He said, the love you seek is in the valley of the soul. The love you seek is in the wisdom written on the ancient scrolls. Hey there, Mr. Jumbo, out there.
So now you've seen Mr. Jumbo. Ask AI who has more bots, Twitter. Is this whole series or is it only this video? So Kyle Gordon is a comedian who I've only seen put out this song a couple years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Put your hands up in the air.
Okay, so this what he does, seemingly. He does sketches and shit too, but here's like a butt rock anthem.
To my troubled mind.
Right. He's got the British rapper from the
With the bum to the boom boom bum the bum the bum boom with the boom boom. What you do? Put your crew in a new blue tutu. Boom on them over by the chip shop, you can't stand them.
And again, people have been like sharing a 1950s diner.
I need an egg cream, a banana split, a vanilla
Yeah, see there. Here's his sketches. Like he's making TikToks. This guy.
fudge sundae, a pair of wax lips, and an orange cream pop on the double yawning.
Can I get you fellas a Coca-Cola beverage? 43 for a nickel.
Yep, we serve everyone here except one type of person.
Whoa, there's Peggy Menninger. Too bad she's going steady with Bud Lancaster, needleback of our local high school six-man football team.
Pop says someday if I work hard and really give it my all, he'll give me a salary for my labor.
So you got anyone to go with you to the dance? It's mom and pop shops like this restaurant. that are the front line in the war against communism. If I don't finish tidying up, Pops will send me to the hospital. He beats me severely.
Yeah, so he's a funny guy. He's got an album coming out that I wrote down somewhere. Where is it? He's got an album coming out. October, I think. Yeah. So we're definitely going to be making a reaction to that because I love this kind of music. I am a Weird Al fan. Number one musician of all time, Weird Al Yankovic. And this guy's coming close. Truly coming close.
Ugliest girl on the beat.
So that's high praise. That's high fucking praise. But I want to check out Professor Sky. Shout out Professor Sky. Brilliant music analyst. And he's breaking down this song, the Mr. Jumbo song. And I got to hear what he has to say. Give me 1 second to go to the bathroom. Etch. What's going on, Etch? Alright, we're going to watch this breakdown of the Mr. Jumbo song. And let me get up. Well, do I want to play GTA? Sure.
Assume a couple things before we get started with this video. One, that you've already seen Mr. Jumbo and heard Mr. Jumbo by Kyle Gordon, the comedic song in the personage of Barry Bergen. And the second thing I'm going to assume is either you've never heard of Edward Said or Orientalism and you don't know what it means, or you have, and you're like, oh my God, Sky, this is like the most low-hanging fruit analysis of the song you could do. I mean, even on Genius, on rapgenius.com, it's even mentioned in the annotations there, okay? And I believe it, but I think this analysis is going to earn, I think I'm going to hopefully earn picking that low fruit, because I think I can flesh it out in ways that are pretty interesting. The most controversial thing I'm going to say about this song is the least evident thing. Paul Simon is not the target of satire in this song. Let me say that again. Mr. Jumbo by Kyle Gordon in the personage of, Barry Bergen, It is not targeting Paul Simon. Now, of course, it feels like it's, I mean, stylistically it is, okay? Stylistically, it's a parody of Paul Simon's album, Graceland. True story, my best friend in high school, Brad, his dad, he only owned Graceland. That was the only tape he owned. And he had like 3 copies of it in his Toyota Camry. And when he would get a new Toyota Camry, he would just fill it with Graceland. So I always think of Brad's dad. But you know, the fashion, the way that he looks, the way the song sounds, all of it, it's perfect. It really does feel like Graceland. But I think it goes a lot deeper than that. And in the first way, let's actually think about Graceland by Paul Simon. He didn't do what this song is satirizing. He didn't actually make an album about Africans being mystical and finding the wisdom of the scrolls. I mean, think about the title of Graceland. Where's Graceland? It's in Tennessee. It's Elvis.
All right. I appreciate all this, but frankly, I don't care. I'm going to give you a like, because I like you, but I don't really care. You know what I'm more interested? We're going to get to Majority Report in a minute, but like, what's going on with this? Like, what is fucking happening with Vanguard right now? I watched these two, David Pakman, right? What's Cast at the Vanguard? Yeah, this shit. Destiny attacks the Vanguard, gets ratioed.
I'm in my 30s trying to eat more protein. This is what I got from Factor this week. Full week of hitting my protein goals with real... So I responded to the...
I also, by the way, I got, if you were here for my 4th of July stream, which maybe a couple of you were, I tried to get Star Fox working, but I couldn't get the N64 emulator to work. I got it to work again. So we have N64 on deck, if we would like it. So that's good. But we don't need it right now. We're playing some fucking GTA. So let me open up the PlayStation emulator and boot the ISO. Let's go. All right, let's make sure this is up. Almost. Let me know if there's... So let's load this state. Let's post this. Alright. Let's reload. Alright, this is up now. I'm going to go over here and reload this. There's that. Perfect.
This clip that was going around by the Yeet account, pretty innocuously, I already made the joke again on air, but I just said, hey.
Oh, we're too fast. Too fast. Too fast.
At David Packman, I wanted to reach out to the guy for comment. I said, hey, David Packman, could you tell us what the social in Social Democrat stands for? Asking for a friend. And apparently, Gavin, even though Destiny fails our one hard line rule, our line in the sand, our one stern rule, which is that we can't have you on the podcast if you're a sex pervert. So he fails that, but he's still not done getting humiliated by Silly and Billy. So we thought, you know what? All right, we'll give him one for the road. He comes out here and he says, hey, Vanguard, could you tell us what the socialism, the National Socialism stands for? Asking for a friend. And I just want everybody to understand that if we were to take this to its logical conclusion, that would be like David Packman saying, I'm a socialist nationalist. I'm not a nationalist socialist. That's totally crazy, right? But I was like, let's not actually split hairs with Destiny. Let's just go ahead and cut to the chase. And I said, you'll have to ask your bestie. And even though he has countless more subscribers than us on Twitter, we actually ratioed this motherfucker into oblivion because the people have spoken. And now there are 92 of his bots crying like bitches in our replies, and the Vanguard racking up another double.
Yup. Can't ever let Destiny nor his supporters forget about this, which is that Destiny routinely platformed and normalized Nick Fuentes to his audience of supposed liberals, but now wants to turn around and act like Hasan Piker is anti-Semitic or something, and pearl clutch about.
Yeah, this is weird. Don't like either of these. These two dudes, not selling Billy. These Nick and Steve. Nick and Steve can go fuck themselves or each other, as rumored.
Hasan Piker being an anti-Semite, when again, it's like Nick Fuentes is an actual anti-Semite. You platformed him over and over again, normalized him to your audience, and now you want to turn around and fucking accuse other people of being soft on anti-Semitism or of being anti-Semitic themselves. It's totally disgusting. So yeah, great tweet. Glorious that we ratioed Sex Pestiny. Pretty hilarious stuff. And again, it's just hilarious. If we go back to that original Pac-Man tweet that you responded to, the one that you responded with, it's like, again, David Packman, if you guys can believe it, he actually did support Bernie Sanders back in 2016.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Isn't, like, Nick is pretty open that he's gay, right? Or, like, tries to avoid the question, and Steve is, like, open that he's bisexual. Correct? Also, why the fuck is the title of this YouTube video not changing? I tried to get it to change. Alright, you know what? Let me go to YouTube Studio. Live. There we go. Okay. All right. Should be changed, the title. And thank you for the likes. Appreciate it. Thank you for all coming in to hang out. I appreciate that. On Twitch as well. Thank you, Raven. Appreciate you. It's been a long time. But yeah, we're going to be playing some GTA. Might switch to some other games. And we're going to be watching Majority Report and catching up on the news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con right after this video.
2015. Bernie Sanders called himself a democratic socialist. So what the fuck has changed, David Pakman? Because that didn't stop you from supporting Bernie. You weren't fear-mongering about it then. It seems like you're the one that's changed. You're the one that has changed. So why don't you explain why you changed and not act like, oh, I've always been consistent, when again, you supported the guy that literally popularized the term democratic socialist, at least in the modern day American politics.
Such a great point. And yeah, DSA exploded like 1,000-fold after Bernie Sanders ran for president. I mean, the whole modern DSA exists in the aftermath of Bernie Sanders, and I think anybody in DSA would tell you that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean...
There's like 3 DSA members before Bernie ran. It was like 1 chapter, and it had like 2 guys in it.
It's Bhaskar Sankara and his, like, you know, roommates from college. Yeah, like, seriously, though, you know, it was super uncommon to... That was why Jacobin also blew up, because it was like, wait, this person already was, like, writing about how they were a democratic socialist before Bernie Sanders popularized the term. Like, they're for real, for real. So either way, can never miss an opportunity to dunk on Destiny. One last thing I had to throw up on screen about him is this. He's literally calling the manager on Hasan's YouTube editor, Austinox, who I quite like, for the most innocuous tweet ever. Austinox responded to Gretchen Whitmer's endorsement of Abdul El Sayed, saying, "You're so desperate you had to beg for an endorsement," or excuse me, this is Haley Stevens. He's responding to after getting the endorsement from Gretchen Whitmer. He says, "You're so desperate you had to beg for an endorsement 12 days out from the election, halfway through early voting. Whitmer signing her death warrant with this, and what he meant was her political death,
obviously. Yeah, no one thinks that Gretchen Whitmer's going to die as a result of this. What is he saying? Like some mob of Abdul El Sayed fans are going to come sack her, you know, the governor's mansion or something and kill her? Like, obviously that's not what's going to fucking happen. No one would believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is the Karen lying bullshit that Destiny is on right now. He says, "This is Hasan the Hun's YouTube editor, by the way. If someone ends up getting killed in this space soon, I hope people know to hold Dan Clancy accountable."
Bro, the only person who might get killed is fucking Hasan.
So you happy now, homie? Happy? Man, hell no.
Because Steve's been calling for Hasan to be executed. It's fucking crazy.
Always want to keep a nigga down. And that CPO, Mad Dog's manager, is putting on me real heavy, man. He cripping my style for real. Heavy. Man, he 5'3". But that fool's strong. Man, we gotta take him out. He done blackballed me, man. I can't get a game no way. I told you, I'm an artist, a communicator, and nobody can even hear my message. He going around telling everybody I'm whack. Well, he obviously ain't heard your new shit. That shit is outrageous. That's what I'm talking about, man. Down with a frown, on the tail, a sad clown. All right, so what you want me to do? I want you to take that motherfucker out. Kill him? Why I mean, Dave? Listen, he gonna be attendance of a wall ceremony, and that's the only time he leaves dog's side.
Alright, we're gonna go get a music executive. I got no problem with that. One of Mad Dog's manager's drivers is eating a burger shot. Alright, let's do this.
And Twitch, they have refused to engage with insane amounts of violent rhetoric that is safeguarded on that platform. I'm not even calling for bans or anything like that. I honestly just wish that they would do something to curb this rhetoric before someone gets killed. And guys, I watched a Netflix documentary a few days ago about the world's worst neighbor, and it was this old senile woman who would call the police on her neighbors every single day, and the type of shit she would say into the phone after calling 911 is the type of deranged, batshit, senile ranting that Destiny tweets on Twitter, except he's like 38 years old.
Yeah. No, it's just outrageous hypocrisy. Again, Destiny sounds exactly like the right-wingers who were triggered when he was mocking the death of Charlie Kirk, right? Or the death of that innocent Trump-supporting firefighter at the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, that got hit by one of the bullets that, you know, whatever his name was, you know, tried to hit Trump with, right? Destiny was laughing about that. He was making jokes about it. And the Republicans responded in exactly the same triggered fashion that he's now appropriated in order to respond to Hasan Piker and his editor for making a tweet that wasn't even nearly as edgy as the jokes Destiny was going with at that time, which, by the way, I wasn't pearl-clutching over either. I thought it was funny that Destiny was willing to make those edgy jokes at the time. But either way, just, you know,
what am I
complete
supposed to do?
hypocrisy. Destiny has no room to talk when it comes to this sort of like violent rhetoric. He was just talking about the other day, like, you know, I think Hasan, you know, someone might get killed soon, like saying that Hasan could be shot or something, you know, almost seeming to advocate for it. So completely ridiculous, of course. And this is all just such bullshit because they can't actually criticize any of the real policies of the candidates that they claim to be so afraid of.
All right. So let's do some CDC wrap up. 10 Watch Mojo. Oof. Do I want to do Watch Mojo? Denim nerds.
This doesn't feel like they should be the biggest thing that was announced. Like, this shouldn't have been the most surprising thing.
I agree with that. Look, Denim Nerds, from what I understand, is a piece of shit, much in the same way as like Star Wars Theory. So I don't want to again, fuck him. But you know what? Actually, you know who'd be good to watch? Dan Merle. I believe Dan Merle should have some CDC wrap up news. Not CDC. Jesus Christ. SDCC. Oh, that was alive. No? All right. Okay, for God's sake. All right. Fucking Christ. We got some big news. Kinda. Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is coming back. Ghost Rider is coming back starring Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider. Directed by Sean Levy. Hold on. Is this... I know this is not written by you.
For sticking around and doing that. He braved it through. He did it. Grimbear says, hello, gents. Some good announcement at San Diego Comic-Con.
All right. We got Ghost Rider coming out. Unfortunately, I do agree with Den of Nerds that it shouldn't have been the biggest thing. Pedro Pascal, Robert Downey Jr., Dr. Doom, and Mr. Fantastic. Sandlot cast reunites? Wow, nobody gives a fuck. We got the Doomsday trailer. We got the Doomsday trailer. We made a reaction to that on the channel, so you can go check that out. Looks like Doomsday. Looks like the end of a Marvel Cinematic Universe that doesn't want to end. We got the announcement of... got the announcement of new Black Panther. I don't know what this website is, bro. But yeah, I don't know. It looks kind of whack. Kind of whack. And I've been checking out some of these people's videos, and I don't know who they are, but I think they're pretty great. So let me play one of their videos.
Nothing has changed about the messages of these franchises. The reason why fascists now see them as woke is because our media is finally catching up to the values it was always trying to convey. Our media has always preached progressive values, but has never practiced it. For about 120 years, media has centered straight white dudes, because it was made by straight white dudes. And only seeing one thing made our society believe that they were the main characters in all our stories, when they're not. We've talked about it on this channel before. It's the media studies concept called cultivation theory. That long-term exposure to media starts to warp your sense of reality. We have had over a century of progressive themes in our media, but viewing those messages back then was easier to digest and ignore for them when it revolved around straight white men. Think of it as the spoonful of sugar that makes the progressivism go down. But now that marginalized groups have gotten like a smidge of rights, and stories are starting to reflect reality, even if our stories and messages are exactly the same, they look aesthetically different. Now when Superman says truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, and saves a Middle Eastern guy, and the allegory for Palestinians, and Hawkgirl is the one that kills not Netanyahu, and Lois has autonomy and challenges Superman instead of making him a sandwich, and Superman's black best friend is the smartest person on Earth, and they team up to fight the billionaire, and you see where I'm going with this? Same story, looks a little different. The messages are now actually asking fascists to change, and they just don't wanna. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. Check out the full breakdown in the video below. Nothing has changed about the messages of these franchises. The reason why fascists now see them as woke is because our media is finally...
Again, pretty good videos. These are good shorts. And yeah, like I want to check these out. I like these. These are interesting. These are interesting. Hollywood loves ancient Egypt, so why erase Egyptians? Word. Can gender bending save Lin-Manuel Miranda's Warriors? Warriors? I know you ain't making the fucking Warriors, bitch. The Warriors? The Warriors. New concept album. Concept album released 2024. Executive produced by Nas. Warriors imagines the story with a gender flip perspective. It flowers an all-female gang navigating the treacherous journey through the city after the murder of a gang. Pick one of the other gangs! Alright, whatever. This is an album. The stage adaptation was announced to premiere in 2027 on Broadway. Oh, I hate this. You know why? Because again, the bigots and the fascists and the conservatives, they don't want gender bending or race bending because they're racist and misogynist. I think it's okay in certain instances. Changing, then this is a different story. This isn't the Warriors. The Warriors is actually the Odyssey. Kind of, a little bit. There are sirens that they run into. How are the girls going to run into sirens? It's just not the same story. It's the same framework. Same framework as hero has a call to adventure, loses his family, goes out on an adventure, his mentor dies. Ever heard of it? It's called The Hero with a Thousand Faces by John Campbell. But you wouldn't say Star Wars is Lord of the Rings, is a remake of Lord of the Rings or interpretation of Lord of the Rings. It's Star Wars. It's its own thing. This is its own thing. Concept and storyline. Warriors gender flips the characters of the movie that inspired it, inherently changing the nature of the characters. They're kind of supposed to. They are misogynists. One of them's a rapist. They're unsympathetic for the most part. Miranda said this approach was key to an interesting adaptation, explaining that a story with female characters complicated the narrative in a way that made it more compelling. I disagree. Davis's character, yo, what up, Natch? Has characterized the flip as a revolutionary and feminist act, given overtones in the movie that she described as misogynist and homophobic. Yeah, that's kind of part of the story. The Warriors are douchebags. For, like, all of them. There's one or two, namely the black characters, who are a little less corrupt. Back at work, so you gotta lurk. No problem, dude. I'm working too. One of them's a rapist. They go and get distracted by sirens. They pick up a girl from the all-girl gang. Actually, no. Not from the all-girl gang. From, like, the loser gang, who wasn't invited to the meeting of all the gangs. Actually, no, yeah, they pick up a girl from there. Some of the other warriors, they get separated, end up getting lost to the sirens. This changes inherently the whole fucking narrative. Again, do it. You could call it Sirens, a warrior story. Or whatever the name of your made up name of your made up gang that's not in the original fucking movie. A warrior story. God's sakes. The 2014-2015 misogynistic online harassment campaign, Gamergate, was part of Miranda's inspiration for the gender flip. He compared the campaign's doxing of women to Luther's false accusation in The Warriors. What? Noting that Luther shoots Cyrus and then blames the Warriors, forcing them to deal with the consequences. It's not at all. And also, you're about a decade late, Lin-Manuel. Davis also found inspiration in the 1971 Hoe Avenue Peace Meeting, a historical intergang truce took place in the Bronx. That's where the Warriors got fucking inspiration. Women were marginalized and excluded from the meeting. She described the album as a vindication for them. Losers. Losers. Yeah, I hope they don't do this. I hope they don't do this. I mean, they will. It'll happen. It'll be at the Tony Awards. But you know what? You know what? Natch, yes. But, you know what? If it gets people interested enough to go watch the original movie, blessings. Blessings, I don't care. Go watch the original Warriors. It's a fantastic film. Yeah, apparently Lin-Manuel Miranda is remaking the Warriors. He remade it as an album, and he's going to make it into like a Broadway play and gender flip the Warriors, which does change the nature of the story. It's not the Warriors anymore. It's a different story about a different gang of women in a similar situation. It's not the Warriors. Again, hate to, like, fuck out of here. Hello? Yes? Yes? Oh, hello, hello. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't recognize you. It's okay. Sorry about that. That was a friend of mine. Give me a call. She's having a hard time. Yeah, he's very overrated. Yeah, so let's majority report it up. Sam's back.
We are proving that things can be done differently. We are trying to create great.
All right. So, and of course, Natch, we are playing GTA San Andreas. Of course.
Hey
We're doing.
folks, have you ever looked at the ingredient list on your dog's food? After the first ingredient, I
We're
wish
doing
you
the
luck,
mission where we gotta
because
go
kibble is
kill
made
like
using extreme high
OG
heat
Loke's
to keep
manager
it
or
shelf
something.
stable and inexpensive, so brands have to add back synthetic vitamins and minerals in the form of strange chemicals, which are difficult to understand and pronounce. And is that really what you want your dog eating? Well, Sundays for Dogs is different. Founded by Dr. Corey Waxman, Sundays were created to meet her high standards as a veterinarian and as a dog parent. Sundays start with 80% plus all natural meats and then add superfoods such as kale, ginger, and blueberries. No fillers, no nutritional blends, no chemicals, just simple, complete nutrition. Sundays is gently air dried instead of using high heat, so it doesn't look or smell like dog food.
Yeah, whenever Cedar takes a break, a right-wing figure dies. Lindsey Graham, he's been gone for like 2 weeks.
No fridge, no freezer,
Getting a lot done.
no mess. You get the quality of a home-cooked meal with the scoop and serve ease of kibble. It's what dog food should have been all along, and Sundays just launched a brand new.
The only thing with this mission is I think you can't damage the car at all, which is like
whole and minced fish.
not easy.
Eco-friendly invasive carp sourced from America's rivers for a naturally rich flavor. In fact, do you know that many dogs actually prefer fish flavors? So Sunday's fish recipe is especially great for picky eaters. Plus, it's packed with omega-3 fatty acids that help support healthy skin, shiny coats, joints, and brain function. It's complete and balanced.
I know I have
nutrition
the police
for
on me.
all
It's no good.
life stages. I know that Sam has waxed poetically about his dog and how much he's loved this for his dog. It's the kind of stuff that you can give to your canine friend and not feel like, oh, you're giving them a bunch of junk here. Make the switch to Sundays. Go right now to sundaysfordogs.com/majority and get 50% off your first order, or you can use code majority at checkout. That's 50% off, 50% off your first order at sundaysfordogs.com/majority, sundaysfordogs.com/majority, or use code majority at checkout. Link down below in the video and episode descriptions and at majority.fm. And now, time for the show.
Okay, go away, Star. Thank you. Now. So, is Sam not back today? God damn. I gotta actually parallel park. There we go.
It is Monday, July 27th, 2026. My name is Emma Vigland, in for Sam Seder, and this is the 5-time award-winning Majority Report.
Congratulations on your award.
We
You
are
must be
broadcasting
thrilled.
live steps
I like to
from the
thank my
industrially
fans,
ravaged
my mama,
Gowanus
and my
Canal
dealer.
in the heartland of America, downtown Brooklyn, USA. On the program today, Devin Thomas O'Shea, writer and author of The Veiled Prophet, Secret Societies, White Supremacy, and the Struggle for St. Louis. That is a conversation that Sam had that you will be hearing in just a minute. Also on the program, the Pentagon
Lot of save
updates
states.
its database
A lot of
to
save
include
states. Ooh,
140
ooh, ooh.
U.S. soldiers wounded in this Iran war, eclipsing 600 total.
Court center. Never been hit before. Your specialty, basically.
And hit Saudi oil facilities over the weekend, the first time since 2022. Netanyahu and Zelensky arrive in Washington for Lindsey Graham's funeral tomorrow. Israel publicly confirms Netanyahu and Trump will meet after Trump was apparently avoiding him. We're doing that same
Teaches you
thing
how to exit a
from
car
both
when it's
sides
still
and
going.
everything.
Oh,
We're so
really?
upset with Benjamin Netanyahu, although nothing's gonna change.
Today, we taking the scenic
After
route.
4
Be
Palestinians
at the
and 2
bottom of the
Israelis
ocean.
were killed in a settler
Oh, because you're
attack,
driving him off the pier?
Israelis set fire to mosques and homes in the West Bank in retaliatory pogroms. Wildfires rage across France and Spain, with 300,000 people being forced to evacuate. Putting out the blazes could take weeks or months. Financial disclosures reveal that the DNC is millions of dollars in debt, as the RNC laps them with cash on hand. Maine Democrats have officially selected Troy Jackson as their Senate candidate to take on Susan Collins. An internal DEA assessment found boat bombing campaign, which has killed over 200 people.
Oh, you can backseat all you want, Natch. Basically, it doesn't need to be the pier. It can be anything. That's fine.
Who would have thought? U.S. measles cases have officially shattered last year's record, hitting South Carolina, Utah, and Texas hardest. And lastly, India's education minister was forced to
That was really
resign
funny.
after successful protests by the Gen Z movement, calling itself the Cockroach Janta Party. All this and more on today's Majority Report.
Alright, let's
Welcome
check
to
the
the
map.
show,
Where are we
everybody.
closest to?
It
OG
is
again.
Fun Day Monday. Sam
I
is
don't wanna
out
do
until Friday. That is when he will be back, folks.
Damn, bro.
But you get a little taste of it today.
Yeah, a little bit of a taste of him, yes, with this pre-recorded interview. My earpiece just went out, so if we could find an alternative one, I couldn't hear the music, so I was a little nervous. I could hear it super faintly, but I think it came.
Alright, so no more
went
rider
away.
missions. We
You
got
know,
Big
This is
Smoke
just the things that we deal with here on a day-to-day
covering
basis.
India. Nice, indeed. I got a question for you, Natch, since you're very familiar with this game. And I've always wondered this and never really figured it out. So, the story, the overall story, won't advance unless I beat all of these? Is there a specific order? Like, for example, in my mind, it was like Big Smoke is the main mission. All the other ones are side missions. And so I'd want to do all the other ones first and then do Big Smoke to actually advance the story. Or am I wrong and you could kind of do any of them in any order, you won't miss any missions? Let me know. I've literally always wondered that.
Stuff is really remarkable here. The documentary filmmaker here was able to get access, or was able to record this phone call that Lindsey Graham has with Benjamin Netanyahu.
There's no order. For
But
this
let's go
island,
with
you
clip
gotta
number
do
2
all of
first,
them. For
actually,
the other
'cause
islands,
we're
you
gonna
can
go
skip some.
in
Okay.
chronological order. This is 2. Oh, okay, great. So they got. Okay, I'm sorry. Number 3, we updated it. Apologies. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I actually think I opened the wrong. We're off to a great start this morning. I opened the wrong document. Okay, great. So
Alright,
yes,
so let's
number
just go
3.
do OG again.
This is on the day that the Iran war launched, that Israel and the United States bombed a girls' school, killing over 120 little children, also killing the supreme leader of Iran and other top officials. And look at how gleeful Lindsey Graham is when he sees that he's able to achieve his lifelong dream.
When you get to the next island, there's a bunch of annoying RC missions. They are skippable. Oh, really? I guess I was going for like full completion as a kid, so I was doing everything. But are they skippable in that, like, you can't ever go back and finish them if you miss them? Because that's like a paranoid thing for me. I don't want to miss them. I'll do them. I'll do annoying missions if it means full completion. That was the big anxiety with like Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, like GTA 5. I don't want to miss any side stuff. Game sound too high? Okay. Majority.
Trump
I got you.
and Bibi are like Roosevelt and Churchill. I mean, they're the right two guys to confront this evil.
Let's turn that down.
They're like
20.
Roosevelt and Churchill.
I wish they were more
House
like
party will start at 8 p.m. and finish at 5.
Look at how, right.
Remember how Roosevelt and Stalin edged Churchill out?
I mean, it's amazing to see how excited he is, and what he values in a president with Donald Trump. You know, when he's tweeting, it's too much of a distraction from the war crimes that we want to commit. But now he's
Yeah, I
very
know.
decisive when he
You can go
decides
back. Don't worry. You
to
just need.
bomb
Okay,
Iran
good.
in a
All
way
right.
that no other president was willing to do.
Good to know.
The quagmire that we get into. I
So
mean,
yeah,
this is
maybe
5
we'll skip the
months,
RC. And also, I did them when I was
and we are
younger,
still
so I
in
already
this
did
quagmire
complete them
in Iran,
at one
as was
point.
predicted, as is why presidents prior to Donald Trump
I remember
said,
recently,
no, we're not going to do
I was coming back to Dark Souls after a long time. I finally beat the Nameless King, and then I was moving on, and then like there was some glitch, and I reloaded, and I hadn't beat Nameless King, and I was like, fuck this. So I called in like, you know, other players to come help me, because I was like, I did it once on my own. Fuck this.
And increasingly, Lindsey Graham was in the room.
Yeah, I
There's
do
some
have a ways to
interesting
go.
quotes
All right.
from him about how, you know, you can't get to
I forgot how
Trump by
much,
just sucking
like,
up to
dude,
him.
these games are huge.
You have to tell him hard truths as well, because he won't respect you. And I guess that's how Lindsey Graham got further and further into the inner circle and was able to push his agenda of this war on Iran. Now, this is March.
And you know what's funny? Nameless King isn't even the thing that is taking me the long. I still haven't beat Dark Souls 3.
Just, you know,
I finally beat Lady Frida, or whatever the fuck her name was.
Netanyahu on speakerphone, trying to
And now I gotta
Trump
beat,
to join Israel in
what is it,
Lebanon.
like the Ring Cities DLC? The Demons? I gotta do that.
Netanyahu. And then you'll also see footage of Lindsey Graham
Alright, let's
speaking to Jake
save it.
Sullivan
Right
of the Biden administration, who is currently on this media tour trying to distance himself from his complicity in the genocide in
House
Gaza.
party.
But he was on the phone with Lindsey Graham at the start of this Iran war earlier this year. Here's more of that footage.
You have it on speaker, Ryan?
Hey, baby, Lindsay. I couldn't. I'm just so impressed. Glad to be your friend.
I'm glad you are my friend.
I'm going to meet with the president this weekend. I'm going down to Doral. I'm going to try to get him to join with y'all in Lebanon, to maybe fly some with you. Would you like that?
Oh, Dead Cells is great.
I get that. I think you have a point.
It's a good roguelike.
I've been thinking about the other side of this for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Concentrating right now on Iran. If we tell Salah, that we're going all the way. Determined that we actually do it.
Okay.
And they have no reason not to go all the way against us.
Grove Street.
Right now, that's not our interest.
Okay.
We can do it later.
Oh, I need to rep.
Well, okay, well, that's actually good counsel. I'll put it out there as an idea. We can always go back to it.
Okay, all right, pause for a sec before this Jake Sullivan call. That is just actually remarkable. Lindsey Graham wanted to do a little cop ride-along for war crimes, and Netanyahu was like, I don't know if that's a great idea, but also speaking about, like, the overall objective, trying to get the United States, President Trump, to join Israel in the bombing of Hezbollah. That would have just completely, you know, exploded the conflict, bringing the United States into the war in Lebanon, the ethnic cleansing campaign. And Netanyahu's probably saying, like, all right, I know you're bloodthirsty, Lindsey, but right now we have the kind of skeleton Lebanese government in our pocket, and we have long-term ambitions to spark a civil war, having them on our side fighting against Hezbollah. So maybe we don't want to turn the Lebanese people against us right away by having the U.S. bomb on our behalf.
We need the green.
Sort of you're sort of like asking how high before you're even told to jump.
Yep.
Good argument that DS3 is the best DLC of the original. So I haven't played through Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1 or 2. 3 is the only one I have. I got it after that I played Bloodborne and really enjoyed Bloodborne. If you get grenades, this mission becomes way easier. Ooh, that's good to know. Yeah, so I'm stuck on the twin demons, where, like, you fight two of them at once, and then when you kill one of them, the other one becomes, like, bigger and enraged. I've gotten close, but I haven't fucking done it yet. I still have to beat Elden Ring. We're in the DLC of that. We're on the Frenzy boss. Yeah. We got a lot of games. We got Crimson Desert to get back to.
First on Iran. But you hear this in Trump now, right? The ghost of Lindsey Graham. This attempt to shoehorn parts of the Abraham Accords into these peace negotiations, which are really just a poison pill. Right, because as I headlined, Iran had enlisted the Houthis in Yemen to bomb Saudi oil facilities. They're taking responsibility for it over the weekend, and this is the first time since 2022 that this has happened. Saudi Arabia does not want to get bogged back down in Yemen. China was a part of brokering talks in a way that, you know, the U.S. never did, as it was supporting the Saudi-led, you know, disgusting starvation campaign in Yemen. We were so uneven in our hands that China ended up stepping in and playing a mediator role and successfully was able to get Iran and Saudi Arabia to back away from this proxy war. So the Saudis don't want to get back involved in this, and this is another way that the Iranians can make U.S. allies in the region hurt because of the U.S.'s willingness to go to war here. Now here's that other part where Lindsey Graham was on the phone with former Biden administration official Jake Sullivan, just to show how bipartisan this commitment to this bloodthirsty Middle Eastern policy is.
Democrats and Republicans are okay with the treaty. Now, you'll never get the treaty until you get a pathway for the Palestinians. You just can't get there. You can't get MPS to recognize Israel. So what I'm going to tell Bibi, and I just told Leiter, I talked to Bibi this morning. He called me and thanking me for everything. He says he's game. I said, listen, Bibi.
Lindsey Graham is such a fucking...
Ben Gavir are not going to deliver. If you win your election...
Uh-oh, the alleyway.
It's going to be before our election. I think the time probably to do this is a lame duck. We'll know pretty quickly whether Bibi is able to deliver. Oh, to be honest with you, I think about 3 to 4 years,
shit.
We should have them in a spot where they start losing control of some cities.
No.
And what we're trying to do is just get a few cities to fall in the next month. Get the Arabs more openly involved tomorrow or by the end of the week. And just have almost irreversible momentum.
This was March.
Where do I get?
Yeah,
All right.
that's the end of that clip, and that is him in March 4th, saying that all they need is for cities to fall in Iran, and in 3 to 4 weeks, the Iranian government is going to lose control and they're going to fall. How'd that work out? How did that work out? How many weeks are we into this
April,
now?
May, June, July.
Yeah, where do I get
Almost
armor and
August,
grenades?
Not one Iranian city has fallen.
Because the gun stores
But we
aren't
have
open
committed a lot
yet.
of war crimes and are promising to do more.
I gotta go to
unless,
Emmett's.
We get what we want.
And honestly, it's pretty astonishing to see a warmongering brain in real time make these justifications and see how wrong he was as well. But that when he says the best time to do this might be the lame duck, I wonder what he's referring to there.
Trump losing the midterms.
Trump losing the midterms, right? But
all these guys still being in Congress, I assume is our lame duck.
Yes, but what does he mean by like what the plan is during the period that would be in between the?
Yeah, I don't think
swearing in
Ammo
of the
Nation
Congress
is open
in
yet.
November and late January. Just something to pay attention.
Oh, that would be really funny.
because there's a
Aqua
window
Team,
into, like, what the plan
GTA.
would be.
Punch through the Abraham Accord.
I'm sure that
I
exists
think,
somewhere.
Yeah, but another piece of evidence to what we've spoken about here on the show, which is that Israel and Netanyahu are immensely aware of the public backlash here in the United States and what the midterms could look like, and they are taking this as a window of opportunity because they understand how things could change and how there might actually be some sort of accountability for the Trump administration in this illegal war if the Democrats are able to have success in the midterms. And that's an if. And
I mean,
it also needs a change in leadership and pressure from the bottom,
Fuck
right?
you.
Like, this isn't going to happen instantaneously, but the Israelis are planning, in ways that are strategic.
Operation Cast Lead was in the lame duck of George W. Bush, and it was they wound it up right.
Let me just fill up on
January
health.
2009 as Obama was entering office. Like
Nah, it's not showing up on
It's
the
so
map.
funny when the media's like, "Why are you?"
It's
so
the sa- I think it's the same
Israel
thing
is
as
obsessed with us, specifically our elections.
the clothing store,
Um,
where you need to like do a mission that tells you to go there.
Joe Snuffy, Emma, how dare you besmirch a dead man by playing recordings of his exact words and letting him do it for you? Have you no decency, madam? Yes, I know.
I'm curious, like, this guy was given access to Graham. I'm just interested to know more about the meta of this and like how whose interests are being served by releasing this stuff.
Yes.
Why Graham was giving this kind of access to this guy.
Yes.
I think an easy answer is he was an egomaniac and wanted to look good to the press, but it's just interesting to, what's getting out.
Right, exactly right. In a moment, you will hear this interview that Sam conducted with Devin Thomas O'Shea. But first, a word from our sponsors here. You know
I think
what
I'm
time
going
it is,
like
folks.
a long
It's
way,
Sunset
but
Lake
whatever.
Sebede time. Our friends up at Sunset Lake Farms sent us some new tinctures to try, and we are excited to share them with you. Introducing Sunset Lake's new Focus, Sebede, and CBG oil tincture. What is CBG, you ask? Well, early clinical studies suggest that CBG can enhance verbal memory, manage pain, and promote a more focused
Yeah, look
mental
at the
state.
map.
They've added
There's
a
no
splash
no
of natural
ammunition
citrus flavor as well as Sebede.
The
which
only
can promote a
one
sense of
is
calm and balance,
Emmett.
perfect for when you need to buckle down and get stuff done.
I think we're too early
They're
in the
kicking off
game
this
still.
new Focus tincture by doing a 25% off sale on all of their Sebede oil tinctures. Just use the code CBG26 at checkout. That's CBG26. We're huge fans of Sunset Lake Sebede here at the Majority Report. I am a daily user of at least one of their products. Their sleep gummies or tinctures to help me go to sleep. Their lotion is phenomenal. I've got the scented and I've got the unscented. I've got these relax gummies here that I pop oftentimes before I head home on my commute. It just makes things easier, makes me
Oh, for
able
God's
to
sake.
relax without, melting into the couch and being completely unable to function or anything like that. So that is where we can attest to Sunset Lake's efficacy, and also they use regenerative farming practices. They're pesticide free. They treat their workers well, and in terms of their wages. They've partnered with us on certain fundraisers, but they support refugee resettlement, strike relief funds, and more. It's a company that you can feel good about supporting, and the product is third-party tested, so you know what you're getting. Head on over to sunsetlakesebede.com and use the coupon code CBG26 to save 25% off on all their tinctures, including the new Focus, Sebede, and CBG oil. This sale ends July 28th at midnight Eastern Time. See their site for additional terms and restrictions. Again, that's 25% off all Sebede oil tinctures, including the brand new Focus, Sebede, and CBG oil tincture, code CBG26. And lastly, have you ever thought, you know, I should really be doing something to protect myself from stalkers, scammers, hackers, all these people on the internet trying to access my data, but you're not sure what? Well, here is what you do.
I guess not. I thought he was. Sorry.
Enter code majority. You'll get 20% off. Delete Me removes your personal information that is being sold online. And before I even
I know I tweeted it out,
before
but
I even knew that they were a sponsor,
I spoke
was a
too soon,
user
I guess.
of Delete Me. When I started doing this business, I was like, how do I protect my information on the internet? And I was suggested Delete Me, and I've been using it ever since. And I get these emails with reports about what it's caught and what I need to, you know, pay attention to as well. So it keeps you updated, and it's constantly catching information that might be out there for, about you on the internet. Because in the age of AI, we're all especially vulnerable to scammers using your personal data that's floating around. Have you ever Googled yourself and found your home address, phone number, or the name of a family member? It can be unsettling. But the good news is Delete Me can help. You can get an individual plan for a little over $8 per month. Discounts get even better with a 2-year plan, or when you enroll with your partner or family. Delete Me does all the hard work to wipe your personal information from data broker websites. Thanks to Delete Me for sponsoring the Majority Report. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our audience, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to www.joindeleteme.com/majority and use promo code majority at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to www.joindeleteme.com/majority and enter code majority at checkout. That's www.joindeleteme.com/majority.
We gotta save at
Majority is linked
intervals.
down below in the video and episode descriptions and at majority.fm. All right, quick break, and when we come back, you'll hear this interview that Sam did with Devin Thomas O'Shea, writer and author of The Veiled Prophet: Secret Societies, White Supremacy, and the Struggle for St. Louis. Be right back.
We are back, Sam Seder on the Majority Report. It is a pleasure to welcome to the program Devin Thomas O'Shea, author of his first book, The Veiled Prophet: Secret Societies, White Supremacy, and the Struggle for St. Louis. And
The Veiled
Devin,
Prophet, that's like
show.
one of those,
The book,
that's
as far
those
as I understand,
dances, right?
Started out at
I
the
think
idea
you're right about
was
Big Smoke.
You were going to write a fictional novel, and it really does feel like it couldn't have been more bizarre in many ways, or and it turned out to be a history of St. Louis. Tell us. Okay, let's just start where this story starts in the late 1870s. There is the Great Railroad Strike. Give us a sense of like what St. Louis, Missouri was at that time.
Sure. Yeah, because it's much different, and especially in the 1870s, you know, St. Louis is way out on the western frontier. It is like the end of the railroad tracks, basically. It's the end of like the United States in a meaningful way, because there's just nothing west of St. Louis. It's all frontier. But at the same time, after Reconstruction is over and you're on the cusp of the Gilded Age, St. Louis is like poised to become the largest city in the United States. There's like people are saying it's going to be bigger than Chicago and New York, and there's this big lobbying effort to get the capital, D.C., moved to St. Louis because it would make more sense
hilarious.
in the middle of the continent. And that
St. Louis as the capital?
Fuck
Fuck that.
this. You have this big river route in the Mississippi that can get goods from South America and from all over the world up
We
into
did it, we
the
did it,
middle
we
of the
did it.
country and then spread it.
Yeah, they heard Carl Johnson was running with his brother again.
Yeah, for sure.
Carl, let's get back to the party.
Shit.
Time.
Man, once
It's
Long
like
got off the mic, then the party got
there's a lot
started.
going on, as opposed to maybe.
We should remind people that Missouri was a border state and in the Union, but there was a real attachment to slavery.
Yeah, to put it lightly. There's a line in Cloud Splitter, the novel about John Brown, where he goes and digs up one of his grandchildren who was buried in Missouri because Missouri is cursed, evil slave soil, and he did not want one of his family to be buried there. Missouri is where all of the pro-slavery forces from the South are starting this sort of creep into the West, and so the lead up to the Civil War all revolves around the Kansas-Missouri border, the bleeding Kansas. And the governor of Missouri, David Rice Atchison, famously personally fired a cannon at Lawrence, Kansas. And so there's a lot of pro-slavery sentiment in the state.
Hey, Natch, where's that bike you
sense,
said
too,
is in the
terms
neighborhood?
Of, Reconstruction.
Where's it spawn?
How much impact did Reconstruction have in St. Louis in terms of any type of ascendant black political power?
Yeah, in St. Louis, which is different from Missouri politically and always has been, Missouri, the state, has been very right and pro-slave, and in St. Louis you have a gigantic population of German socialists and communists who settled in the city after the failures of the 1848 revolutions. Tons of Germans come and end up in the Midwest, Milwaukee, Chicago, but especially in St. Louis, and they arrive right in time to do what they wanted to do in the 1848 revolution, which is to destroy systems in which singular monarchical figures
from
or the
here.
archbishop can control people's lives and own people. And so they theorized, or at least saw, the slave owning class as exactly like the king, and they were the first to join up with Lincoln's Union. And in a big way, they saved St. Louis from the Confederacy and therefore saved it from the fate of Vicksburg, which was totally blown up during the war.
And in the context of
Sidewalk right
Reconstruction, was
opposite the
there
house.
any? Were there any inroads in terms of black political power? And then, I'm curious how it unwound. A lot of places, obviously, folks
I'm looking
know
for it.
That the Reconstructionist project ends with, in many respects,
What up,
progress
Andre? How's it
against,
going?
Black communities.
3002.
On and on and on.
Yeah. There was a.
We're gonna
Drake
keep going through
constitution that was set up in
Outcast
Missouri
albums on the channel
after,
for sure.
The Civil War that was largely constructed by the German socialist sort of population, the people who won the war. That was eventually repealed, and in St. Louis, during Reconstruction, you have this huge you have a huge expansion of the public education system, and so it's the first time that a bunch of black schools
it's not here.
are established. There is
Maybe you have to
genuine, I
do
think you
stuff to
can see
unlock
the
it.
glimmer of what the country could have become if Reconstruction had been allowed to progress, but as Du Bois talks about, it is systematically sabotaged over and over.
Maybe you're
again
just so good at
by
this
the
game you have
Ku Klux
everything
Klan,
unlocked already
by
and you don't remember.
Industrial forces, who, the Confederacy and Union is made up of lots of rich guys, and they knit themselves back together at the end of Reconstruction, which really ends with the Great Railroad Strike of 1877.
Speaking of albums, I
All
just
of
got
these
done
Union
listening to
troops
Lupe
that are in the
Fiasco the
South
Cool.
have to get called up to these northern cities in order to
Thank
put
you
the
so
strike
much.
down. So
I
the
appreciate
plot of the
that.
story and say,
I'm going
thank
to keep
you,
going
or
through
something
his as
to the
well.
whole end.
How much? I'm curious as to how much. Because now we're getting to the point where Slayback comes in. Alonzo Slayback, your
said Nod's
protagonist,
back.
I guess.
Yeah. Do you like his name?
That was well crafted.
Yeah.
But this is how many of those soldiers stayed? those Confederate soldiers. Like, I mean, how
His
like,
live show is
because this
fantastic.
is a
He shows up
moment
pretty
where
early. Just make sure to
it's-
check the area.
I guess
I'm
there's
looking
a
all
recognition
over.
amongst the elite in St. Louis that, oh, we have a problem here. And how much of the problem that they perceived was
It's all right. I'm gonna grab a
sort of
car.
some measure of black empowerment or a vision of what black empowerment could be, and also that like this black empowerment and this sort of like cross racial, like class-oriented revolt in the context, and we should say this wasn't just a strike. I mean,
Yeah.
this
Fuck
was
it.
like the St. Louis Commune takes place
Well,
there.
before
This
we
was
do Big
almost
Smoke,
like a full-on
let's go work out.
occupation, a little bit.
We gotta get our gym in.
Type of.
I'm more
situation.
consistent with this than I am the real
w-
gym.
Walk us through that, but also how much of the elites. What was it that had scared the elites?
I believe you, Nash.
Yeah, I think they were genuinely.
I believe that
very
you
freaked
believe
out.
it's
In
they
the
gaslight you.
1877, the railroad strike has a very boring name, the Great Railroad Strike of 1877, and it starts in Baltimore, Pennsylvania, moves through Ohio. There's like I think Pynchon says, the rail networks of this time are the iron skeleton of the country, and like the strike hits the tracks like lightning and spreads all the way out to the western fringe.
This is a
of St.
emulator.
Louis, where, as you're saying, in other places, the strike takes the form of destroying cargo or burning roundhouses, or sort of the National Guard gets called in and there's a firefight. But in St. Louis, the railroad workers theorize that the
Two more,
infrastructure of the
come on.
city belongs to them because they did the labor to create it. And so there's this effort to take the railroad strike and expand it into a general strike and to call out the Coopers and Smiths and especially the
Love this little
roustabouts.
I got stronger
which are
dance.
Guys who take cargo on and off steamships, a huge part of the St. Louis economy, which has mostly been abandoned by the white working class and is mostly done by ex-slaves, African Americans. The strike very intentionally becomes a multiracial general strike, and they parade through the city for days on end, and the sugar refinery has to come and ask the strike committee for permission to operate, and that, according to many historians, that's you got yourself a de facto government, and so that's like the first St. Louis commune, and that freaked out the city fathers to an extreme degree because it showed that if everything is just left the way it is, the workers will spontaneously organize a Soviet. They will become, you could have this like hinterland sort of worker movement, especially in these industrializing Rust Belt cities.
Whoa.
And of course, the rich people were so afraid that they filled their bathtubs with water and their sinks because they thought that the workers were going to cut off, all of the water supply and drive them out of town, like in the French Revolution, that they were going to have to escape. That was very active. The strike is crushed, and you have characters like Alonzo Slayback, this ex-Confederate cavalry officer who got to waltz back into civic life in St. Louis as a lawyer, and he and his brother organized the Veiled Prophet Society as a parade that basically commemorates the crushing of the strike.
How much like
Get the fuck up. Get the fuck up.
and it's
I say get the fuck
difficult
up.
to get inside the minds of these guys, and we should say that Alonzo's brother Charles came from New Orleans, and so he had sort of I guess like a sense of what a parade looks like on some level. But how much was it just merely like we're going to celebrate the end of the strike? I mean, how much like how much strategy was there in this, or was it just sort of like we're going to make the some sentiment like we're going to make the libs cry type of thing? I mean, because it ends up having a lot more, and obviously branching out. We're going to get into this. But I'm just curious at that first moment, where did they just stumble on something that ends up being opportunistically becomes a locus for things, or was there some sense of like, this is what we're going to do? We're going to start a civic organization, and the best way to start is with a parade.
On
Yeah,
the
that's a
second
great
island, you
question
learn kung.
because
Yeah, I love kung
in the
fu.
in
Those are
St.
my
Louis
favorite.
history, there's always been
Mine too. I remember San
plausible
Fierro, baby.
deniability about the first
Right
image
around the
of
corner
the
from the
Veiled
house.
Prophet, which is a stamp in the Missouri Republican newspaper, and he's got a pistol, and then he's got a rifle, and then he's got another rifle behind him, and a Bowie knife stuck in his belt. And when they're advertising the first parade, they say, this is the Veiled Prophet, and he's coming to town. He's like an ugly, evil-looking clown, and he's coming to town to. He won't be stopped by any striking trolley workers. And so the trolley workers were like sort of the most radical part of the strike, and they had some knock-on strikes after the big one the summer before. And so
Let me hit the bathroom real quick, and then we'll do big smoke.
image, and then on the first parade float, you know, the operative question for me was like, what were people in the street if they saw him? What would they be thinking? The first parade float is the Veiled Prophet, who we know is the chief of police, John Priest, who crushed the strike. And then he's up there with an executioner, and in between them is a bloody butcher's block. And this is a strike that would parade through the working class neighborhoods with subtlety, you know, to like suggest sort of power dynamic.
How did people respond to that? Or is there really no way to know on the ground? Like, it's. I mean, it would be like it feels like it would be the functional equivalent of, I don't know, you know, taking a statue of some Confederate general and parading it through like Morehouse College or something. Do we know what the reaction? Did people put this together, or was it sufficiently mystified in such a way that people just sort of like, oh, that's what a fun-looking little vignette that we're watching here?
Yeah, I mean, in these early sort of years, the Veiled Prophet Society waxes and wanes in power. And in these first couple years, it is like very powerful. It is like the mayor and all the circuit judges and the CEOs and the police chief, they're all very much suspected to be Veiled Prophets. And so in the newspapers, there's not like anybody interviewed who's like, I don't really like this, you know, socio-political connotations of this. But there are people who are like, I suspect that this judge is in the Veiled Prophets, and that somebody has to come out and say, oh no, I'm not in it. There's also the group in the year after, you know, the executioner. Everybody basically decides that was a little too much. We have to sort of back up and maybe do a different kind of character. And so the Veiled Prophet becomes much more of a godfather or a wizard who is arriving in St. Louis from his magic carpet from the land of Khorasan, which is far away and prosperous.
What?
He's coming to St. Louis because he wants to bestow his gifts upon the city, because we are preternaturally of good moral standing than the rest of the world.
So, at that point, is the Veiled Prophet like it's a group, and is it just we get together to plan the parade, or is it just a networking sort of, I guess, situation, or what exactly?
Just made me waste my money on more fucking pizza, bro.
Yeah, it is mostly the planning committee for the parade, and then they also have a big ball. So they have a big ballroom dance at the Merchants Exchange, and they, you know, start a little tradition. I go into in the book about how, especially in early American cities, you know, they want to model themselves on, you know, European traditions, and they want to like invent or build a new tradition. And so they have a big ballroom dance, and they have a belle of the ball. It's Susie Slayback for the first year. Also a great name, come on. And then they
is that his daughter? Is his daughter the belle of the ball? Okay,
his daughter is the belle of the ball,
of course.
And I also talk about how, you know, a secret society in general is kind of like a prestige brokerage, right? It is a way for people to bring their status in society to the club, and then the club also doles out accolades. And so becoming the belle, or later the Queen of Love and Beauty, or becoming the Veiled Prophet himself is sort of a way of bestowing
been keeping up with
races
Haley
upon
Stevens shenanigans?
individual
Oh,
people
yes.
in the club
We're going to get
that
to
lots
some of that, I'm
people
sure,
wanted
for
to join
sure.
and align themselves with.
Now you mentioned that
Crazy.
research
Calling him
found
a
that
misogynist.
the original image,
Thinking that she's
was a
so
model
popular.
for
Ridiculous.
the Veiled Prophet was in a paper that was an image used by the Klan, and this of course has been like this controversy goes up as recently as the Ellie Kemper situation, who I've been told is on The Office, or was, but
What?
talk about
Ellie
what
Kemper.
the Klan was in this iteration, as opposed to, because I think the vision of the Klan that most people have today is the one that sort of like had its resurgence in the teens,
What the
in the
fuck?
early 20s, where, there's everybody's wearing the white hood and white robe, and maybe
Fact
there's
check,
some
Ellie
variation,
Kemper, KKK.
but like literally everybody,
Actor and comedian.
6 million people were card.
Actor and comedian Ellie Kemper was crowned 1999 Queen of Love and Beauty at the Veiled Prophet. Oh my God. The ball is affiliated with the KKK. What's false? There is no known affiliation between the KKK. Yes, there is. Troubling history of society ball for young debutantes has come under scrutiny through unlikely figure Kimmy Schmidt. But the actor who played her... Oh! Wow. That's crazy. How ironic that you would be part of a cult in a TV show, and also in real life you came from a cult. That's crazy.
Pretending to be men from the moon, or they're dabbling in a little bit of satanic stuff. They're not Christian. They might be the ghosts of Shiloh, or a wizard who comes back, or a Orientalist figure. And so there's like this lost to memory kind of form of the Klan that's crazier, and then also needs to be federally suppressed. And so the Grant administration comes in and makes it, it's got to lock a bunch of people up and fine a bunch of people, and then make it kind of illegal to dress as a Klansman by making it illegal to cover your face on public highways. And so that's sort of like the milieu that's happening. As Hugh had said, there's been plausible deniability that this first stamp that was in the Missouri Republican is like, that was made for the Veiled Prophet Society, but in fact, because I benefited a lot from the digitization of newspapers, and there's a newspaper from 4 to 5 years ago, before the first stamp, that's about Southern Illinois Klan violence, and it's at the end of this first wave where everyone has decided the Klan is not good. They're in fact a bunch of rapists, and they're a bunch of monsters who are really just hired to go and collect debts for people. They're just violent thugs. And so this like evil looking Klansman is just being used by Alonzo Slayback and the Veiled Prophet guys to get around this Grant administration edict that you can't cover your face
what
in
are we
public,
doing here?
and to put
Why are we
little,
here?
Fear into the heart of the workers. And then
It's
on top of that,
they were reappropriating it on some level, right? I mean, that would basically. Was the Klan? Did they refer to themselves as the Klan, or did they have like their own sort of local branding, and were just? And then would they say, and we're the Knights of wherever, and but we just happen to be the local chapter of the Klan. I mean, how would they? Is that basically it?
Well, the Klan in the first wave was also like all over the place, because it was basically, you learned how to do a Klan attack by reading about it in the newspaper.
There was all that money.
There's a bunch of other Klan type organizations, the Democratic clubs in New Orleans, or the Knights of the White Camellia are also basically a Klan chapter. There's also the Invisible Empire, which is another different, I think, in the Carolinas. They're active there. But the strategy works so well that a bunch of guys in Kansas City across the state decided that they were going to have like basically the same thing happen, and they like started their own veiled prophet kind of organization called the Priests of Palace, and they elected their parade character to be King Kiki. And so you just get a pretty on-the-nose KKK right there. And so the Veiled Prophet, King Kiki, the same kind of character in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. You have similar characters who are able to be in public. It all speaks to the way that the Klan infected, culture, and that even suppressing it at the federal level, it was still able to escape into, the imagination. And then you could signal to people who are coming into St. Louis that don't worry, this is a place where white supremacy still reigns.
Did that message? It resonates with people who maybe are familiar with the Klan iconography, or like they get the wink. There's a real quality of like 4chan element to this on some level. Like we're being ironic, or look at the funny.
Sure.
Maybe it's Caesar mission, which unlocks the guns. Yeah, I don't know.
Oriental.
We'll figure it out.
Figure that we have here.
The previous section is a funny thing with the statues being obscene.
Locally,
that's cute.
do the potential victims of the Klan, do they have that awareness as well?
There's not a lot of like African American voice in St. Louis politics in the 1870s, 80s, 90s. But what you do get is this recognition that the Veiled Prophet, when he comes to town, he is bringing his ways from Khorasan, from a faraway land, the same way the Klan is bringing their Klan attack from the moon.
They keep saying Coruscant, and I'm like, that's Star Wars. So, did George Lucas get this idea from the Veiled Prophet? Uh-oh. That's the prosperous, mystical planet, or whatever, land that he comes from, is Coruscant.
To all of the ball, especially, and that like Elaine Parsons' book about the first wave of the Klan was like instrumental about this, because she talks about how the Klan attack is it's a rupture point where you can rip open the rules of everyday life and reassert plantation violence, right? You can like bring the supremacy of the plantation owner back just for a few hours during this theatrical assault on people. And the Veiled Prophet is doing basically the same thing. It's letting a bunch of industrialists in St. Louis role play the omniscience of the plantation owner.
So going forward, and at one point we should say like there must be
Oh my God! Oh, we're doing fucking Terminator 2.
I guess
that's what this is.
Or so. And we should say, Alonzo.
Oh, I have no idea.
Was ultimately slain himself.
I'm American. I don't know geography.
In an exciting fashion.
Yeah, I mean, all the stories I have to say are like you could almost like stop off at any point in this history for some great stories, and people should read the book just for that reason alone. But the larger story, of course, is that this becomes both a symbol and a sort of like a functioning networking of elite control of St. Louis. So by the 30s, the United Electric Union, I think it is, starts to do a rival one as a way of what? Like, what's the point of the rival ball?
Yeah, one of my favorite guys in St. Louis history, the communist organizer Bill Sentner, he organizes the...
Backed by more than 45,000 verified reviews.
Oof,
Learn
sorry.
more, FTMO.
Producing, electrical goods. And Sentner and the UNI have a theory of the union that everyone should be a family affair, and to have like a rival VP
Oh
queen of
yeah.
UE is like a way of sticking it to the Veiled Prophets. When Senner is being prosecuted under the McCarthyite legislation called the Smith Act, he is
Oh my God.
him and his allies produce a pamphlet that is about how the Veiled Prophet Society was organized by business owners and big capital in league with the police to crush the general strike. And that the whole reason that they do this debutante ball is to destroy worker solidarity. And there's a very beautiful little cartoon of the Veiled Prophet listening through a door with a pistol in his hand. And he's the boss, and he's listening in on your union meeting. And that,
now
it's this thing that's like in the unconscious of the working class in St. Louis, but there's also at the same time a bunch of rival Black Veiled Prophet balls. The African American community organizes their own sort of rival celebrations, and then when the Veiled Prophet comes back in the Birth of a Nation era, he's like hearkened as a Klansman. So it's hard to say exactly what an average St. Louisan would have thought of him, but there's these like tell-alls, or there's tells in the culture that like everyone understands. This is sort of what he means symbolically.
Yeah, directed by Michael Bay.
There was at that time a resurgence of worker power, of a multiracial coalition. Like this became the symbolic fight, I guess. What was also were these fights indicative? The symbolism of that fight, of a rival ball, of etc. Was it played out in the politics at the time as well?
Yeah, I think that there was the Veiled Prophet is a Ku Klux character, but he's also different from a regular Klansman. He's more like the Grand Dragon of the Klan, in that he's like the orchestrator. The Veiled Prophet never goes and gets his hands dirty. And so he is in that way much like the boss, the factory owner. And I think that there was a very concerted effort in St. Louis to use him as like an icon for oppressive workplace conditions, which more and more people are getting sucked into during industrialization, especially in the 30s as everything starts to malfunction and we start casting around for like, who did this? Who designed this society? Well, there's this omnipotent guy who comes from Khorasan, and he is like worshipped by everyone's boss, and he's kind of like a perfect target, which is then later
I played
once the civil rights movement starts, and you get Percy Green, our hometown civil rights hero.
I had San Andreas when it came out. It was the first GTA game I was allowed to own. Of course, played 3 and Vice City at friends' houses, but this is the first one I had. I almost beat it. I was on the last mission. I couldn't quite get there. I came so close several times to beating that last mission, but I never did, and I never got back around to like, let me sit down and finish this. So now, many years later, we're going to get to it, and we have save states. So there's no stopping us now, baby.
Another level. Like, we got to make this guy, like, maybe a veiled god or something.
Yeah. Well, you might be surprised that they, instead of toning it down, went in the opposite direction. There was, in the 30s, the
And I'm excited for 6 to come
sort of
out.
join the crew.
I also have
of,
5 that we can play
Veiled
as well.
Prophet guys, and they're a bunch of turbaned soldiers, veterans from World War I, and they wear red coats, and they have a lancer pole. And they're modeled also on the lives of the Bengal Lancers.
Love the dedication. Yeah, it was the last mission where you're fighting against Big Smoke, because it's revealed, right, that he's the bad guy, and you're in this like giant mansion, running around killing dudes, and I think it's the last stretch where you're like fighting your way out of the mansion. I think you've killed Big Smoke already, or like maybe you're still fighting him, or whatever. but you're on your way out of the mansion, and I always would fucking die. It's fucking annoying. And I was like, all right, I'll get back to it eventually. I could always pop on the game to just like run around and kill people, do whatever you want, you know, have fun, doing your CJ Sim stuff. But I never got around to actually finishing that mission. There's a whole chase part after that, yeah. So, I don't remember if I got to the chase part. I don't remember if I'm getting. I remember the mansion because I did it a lot. What up, Pickerbell? How are you? Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you.
The Red Scare wraps up Bill Sentner. You sort of move into this post Popular Front era.
And let's jump to Percy Green and Core, and there was an infiltration of the ball. In 1972. What was that about?
Yeah, this is like the culmination
People
of years
really
and
take
years.
this ball seriously.
Yeah. There's actually a New York journalist who comes to the ball during the the 60s.
I need
and
to be in a
she's just
lowrider
like,
car.
Man, this is such a guy comes out and reads from a scroll in an ancient, uninterpretable language, and it's like everyone's walking around on marshmallows and clouds, and then all of these debutantes parade down the center of this aisle and bow before the veiled prophet very sincerely, and it's all taken, very to heart. And then you have the civil rights movement that Percy Green is he gets famous because as the arch is being built and it's only two little sort of legs, they're using all white workers to do it. It's a big federal project. And so Percy Green and another activist climb the arch and they protest because they want black workers to be hired there. And he sort of transforms this thing that's going to be the gateway to the West, to this sort of manifest destiny icon, into an icon of the civil rights movement. After that, he's looking around for a similarly big symbol.
God,
And the
I
Veiled Prophet,
actually hate
where at
racing
the
in
ball,
these
there's no
games.
better place to get in
I
front
hate
of
everything
the
having to do
CEO
with
in the
cars
city.
in this game.
And if you want to deliver your message that North St. Louis, the African American community in St. Louis, is being deindustrialized first, it's just like a totally different world that's being
so bad at
destroyed
driving.
north of Del Mar. And in order to get in front of TV cameras and newspapers and sort of to manipulate the media of the day in order to deliver their message, they start handcuffing themselves.
Oh, don't bump into
to
stuff?
parade
All right,
clothes
I'll
during
take that
parade,
tip.
Or picketing and doing a veiled prophet, black veiled prophet counter protest outside of the ball. Year on year, it gets more intense. Until in 1972,
oh Lord,
we're not sure who gave them the tickets.
I immediately
still,
bumped into
but
something.
they got 3 tickets to the ball, and 3 of the white women in action. It was like a multiracial, organization of guerrilla theater protest. 3 women get up into the balcony, and you have this big amphitheater full of people watching the debutantes on a big stage with the veiled
No, it's all right.
prophet around. 2 of the protesters start throwing pamphlets off of the balcony and saying, "Down with the VP." And Jenna Scott grabs a hold of a electrical cord and rappels down onto the stage, or onto the theater below, and the cord snaps,
all right.
and she falls, and she fractures a rib. But she pops up.
Shooting
and
won't work, damn it.
Someone comes over to ask her how she's. Are you okay? Like, what's going on? And she's like, I got to get a phone call. And so she runs around to the back of the stage, getting through
Dude,
people.
turning
saying
is
she's
so
gotta take a
fucking
phone
hard in this
call.
game.
And she gets up to the Veiled Prophet and pulls his veil and crown off. And it is Tom K. Smith, the vice president of Monsanto Corporation, at the height of Agent Orange production.
Wow. And I mean, obviously, this is so much. It's so reminiscent of the Yippies and Abby Hoffman getting in and throwing money on the stock exchange floor, and
absolutely.
God.
I think very effective too, because
there was a
easy
real.
to understand.
I lost.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I
also
definitely
a
lost
certain
now.
amount of Saul Lindsay, in this era where. how much of it was they were going? They know this is where the attention is. This is how they can. This is a good place to protest, but also a function of their protesting.
Yeah,
it
once you know
as
the
well.
route, it's a little easier.
Yeah, I think it is very.
I just
really
always hope that
admire
like
the
all the other cars
theoretical
explode.
Stuff that Action was doing that seems very simple, but I think was very, very effective. And so by having like the Black Veiled Prophet and demanding
It's the sharp
sandwich
turns,
to the
dude.
White
It's the
Veiled
sharp
Prophet,
turns.
you're sort
I
of,
did fall off
you
the overpass.
Automatically queue up that oh, he's the white one, right? That we all understand that there's a racial component here. And so Percy Green has always said that the thing that he wanted was good jobs for black families, and that was the point of Action, was to get concessions from these people.
See, I can catch up on the straightaways,
and that
but
the protest of the ball happens to be this intersection of like, there's also the feminist aspect of like the debutante ball is a way for the fathers of important families to marry their daughters into, you know, all these other powerful families as political tools. And so you have both
Fucking
the fact
hell,
that
dude.
St. Louis is a very segregated and racist city with a African American population that's being immiserated, and this sort of patriarchal top-down structure that like. So then choosing to protest it and say that this is what's wrong with everything, I think is a really effective strategy.
Let's jump up to the 2014 Ferguson protest. Like where
the
was
handling is
the Veiled Prophet
awful.
now in its sort of
Awful.
journey? Because each era you outline how
Save
sort of
states, baby.
evolves and changes.
Now I should really save
based
state it
on
like
the
as I'm
context
driving.
of the time and the various needs and sort of the sensitivities, how they can sort of. I mean, it's all been from, I guess, day one, a way of trying to obscure what it's really about on some level, and you have to sort of evolve your tactics, I guess, depending on the sensitivity.
This is why I hate racing
Where
missiles.
was it at? Where was that evolution in 2014?
Yeah, the after the unveiling, no picture of the Veiled Prophet unveiled of Tom Smith without the veil on exists, even though the arena was full of photographers. So a bunch of flashes went off, and the Post-Dispatch and Globe editors who attended the ball suppressed the image, and
Someone's shooting.
Tom Smith's name was published by the St. Louis Journalism Review, thankfully. But that moment is like the end. It's the apocalypse. Every year after that, the Veiled Prophet Society has to take a step out of the public arena that
Give
they
me a
were
second.
using, for example, and then go and
Give me
have
a
it at
second.
a hotel. And then it sort of loses steam in the lead up to Reagan.
We'll-
but then
we'll
once
do this.
Reagan arrives, they start the VP
We'll finish
Fair,
this.
which is this huge summer festival under the arch, blistering hot, no shade, but you get to see Dolly Parton, and then a Harrier jet flies over, and it's all hosted by the Veiled Prophet. Until then, also people are like, isn't he kind of a Klansman? And then they have a big debacle about closing bridges to East St. Louis, which is predominantly black, because they don't want thugs and thieves to come over and ruin the fair. They just can't stop, bringing this back. It just haunts them over and over again. So they have to change the name to Fair St. Louis. By the time you get to 2014, the club is not really allowed so much in public life. I believe he's still in the 4th of July parade.
All right, catch
But
up.
then that year, as
Let's
the Michael Brown
do a
protests are happening
save
in
on
Ferguson,
4.
not far away, the chief of police, Sam Dodson, goes to the Veiled Prophet Fair, or the Veiled Prophet Ball, and in the lobby there's like a room with glass. We know this because a couple activists got into the ball that year. A glass room with a bunch of SWAT guys around a table. And so the ball starts going on, and then the protesters
do it
arrive
again.
at the ball outside of the hotel, and Sam Dodson has to leave the ball in order to direct the SWAT team to like break up the protest outside. Because again, it's just like every time there's strife, and especially economic strife, the Veiled Prophet becomes this target because he's supposed to be the father of the city. He's supposed to have
There we go.
brought all of these good things to
We
us.
did
and
it!
we're all
Perfect.
commiserated, and life is getting harder.
Perfect,
and more
perfect,
brutal,
perfect.
and he just becomes a great target.
And so today, they actually, we're recording this on July 2nd, and in the next couple of days, they're having their party. They don't call it the Veiled Prophet anymore, but they still keep the VP. Just talk about that, because it's so fascinating to me how important this is to some people, and it's hard to get into people's heads, but you wonder, like, oh, this is like the white-knuckled holding on to the class struggle, the racial struggle. Like, we need our culture, I guess.
Yeah, our tradition, all of these powerful guys from St. Louis's past were in this club, and then I got invited to join it, and then I got hazed, theoretically, and initiated, and I think there's a lot of social bonding that keeps this very active, and that they don't want to change it. But 2 years ago, like you say, I think that they hired a consultant to come in and do cleanup after Ellie Kemper got in so much trouble, and it almost ruined her career. The price of becoming the Veiled Prophet Queen, that you're shot through the roof. It's you can sandbag your daughter if you get her involved with this. And so they were like, okay, we need to.
I don't know how I went over the taxi. That was a surprise to me too.
And we're changing the name to VP St. Louis, and VP doesn't stand for anything. It's just letters. And they seriously came out and said that.
Burning desire. Here we go.
And then they had the ball, which is in December.
I just want to stay on that moment for a second, because it's sort of amazing, and it is it's doing what the original Veiled Prophet did, right? We have this bizarre figure, but if you know what it means, you know what it means. And if you
you're on the
don't,
inside.
then you're part of the the out group, and it's the exact same thing with the initials VP.
Yeah, I mean, I think this happens in proto-fascist and fascist organizations of I'm just wearing a Hawaiian.
I will also point out, I do know who voice acts the white cop. It is. Oh, fuck.
Time to go to work, CJ, and earn your freedom. There's a guy holed up across town. Got that address blasted? Another gang banging, drug pushing, cop killing bitch just like
This guy,
him, and he don't like us.
Eddie Pulaski.
You make sure he never leaves the neighborhood, not even in a box.
I can see the dude's face. This guy. Chris Penn. Chris Penn, who I believe was in Dumb and Dumber? He's dead now. He died in 2006, which is actually really sad, because he was in a lot of stuff. He was in Reservoir Dogs. He was in True Romance, Footloose. The Starsky and Hutch remake in 2004. Shelter Island. Corky Romano. That's the one I'm thinking of. You remember the movie Corky Romano? Rush Hour. Thank you. That's another one. Yes, Rush Hour is the one I'm thinking of. That's probably the first one I saw him on. I thought he was in Dumb and Dumber. No, that's a different dude. Yeah, R.I.P. Chris Penn, man. Good actor, fun actor. Remember this movie? Remember Corky Romano? Shit was on Comedy Central every fucking day. Chris Kattan, which is another name you probably haven't heard in a long time. Judy, Judy Jetson, thank you so much for the follow, for the subscription. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Peter Falk is in this movie. Oh, yeah. Okay. Remember Corky Romano? Corky Romano's the fucking... Chris Kattan is like son of a mob boss who is like a dentist or something. And then the father's like, you are going to take over my empire when I'm done. And the other brothers who were like in the mob were like, what? Wacky movie, man. Chris Kattan had a run. He had a weird run. Anyways, let's keep going with this.
But I was struck
Chris
by
Penn.
the
Chris Penn is the actor who plays this white cop in GTA.
reconcile this
Does
because
the
there
voice.
is like a there is an analogy to, you know, how does the United States come to grips with its own history? broadly
Tenpenny had
speaking, and how
hidden
do
some
you move
Molotovs in an
forward,
alleyway.
From there.
Yeah, I mean, the best hope that I could have for the book is to talk about this thing from our past, and especially because the book really isn't about the contemporary guys. It's about a lot of the guys in the mid-century who are more interesting and got really powerful.
He was in a lot of
but
movies.
My hope for the book is
And
that
died
it
in
closes this
2006.
chapter of anti-democratic,
Yeah, see, Ammunition is not open yet.
You know, shadow government, sort of an understanding of our history as being predisposed to this form of like anti-democratic organizing by the elites, and that they do it right in front of us, and that we can maybe put that aside and then move into a more democratic way of having the city. I'm not really sure, what the fallout will be necessarily, but what I would like is for us to just be like, okay, no more guy. We'll just
That's
not
just
do the
Sharon
guy
Stone
anymore.
from Basic Instinct.
Give
walking down
all
the
of
street.
that Veiled Prophet stuff to the History Museum. You can do the debutante ball and call it the St. Louis debutante ball, but just like get rid of this thing that is holding St. Louis back from becoming itself, because St. Louis is a very diverse, really beautiful place to live.
Get the
It's
Molotovs,
cheap as
let's go to
hell.
the gang house.
The food here, like,
I don't
punches
think
way
I can
above
get
its
into
weight.
Ammunition
It's
until I
got
do a
a
mission
ton
that
of
tells me I can,
Bosnian,
like, hey, you should go to
people
the
in
gun
that
store,
culture,
blah, blah,
as well
blah.
as Afghan refugees. It's like it's surprisingly diverse and cosmopolitan, which is
Oh,
the
did I not
antithesis
do
of the
this?
Veiled Prophet.
I think I might have
Well,
quit
it's a
last
fascinating
last
book.
time. Ended the
We
stream
will
before I
link
finished
to
this
it.
mission.
It's the Veiled Prophet, Secret Societies, White Supremacy,
Oh, hold
and the
on.
struggle for
I
St.
saw
Louis.
graffiti.
Devin Thomas O'Shea, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Great job. Really, just an incredible, an incredible.
Yeah, it'll
research
open
and
soon
writing,
enough.
Really impressive.
I'm
Thank
sure
you,
we'll
and
get to
thank
that
you for
mission.
having me on. I am, as I was saying, a huge majority report head going back to the early days of the Michael Brooks show. I've just consumed an enormous amount of the program.
Yeah,
It's
so
really
this is the mission we're doing
come on.
last stream, and I ended it. So we're gonna finally finish this shit. Hold on, before we do, let me cut something so that work knows that
Hey,
I'm still
it's John
working.
Cena. and Today we're talking Cashback Maxi because Chime is free.
I actually
Sam or
I started early today at 6 a.m. So I finish at 3. We're gonna keep going till like 5-ish, maybe a little later. We'll see. But yeah, we're hanging out, boy. We're hanging out today. We got lots of shit to watch.
Sam will be back on Friday, and we'll be back to our regular schedule with Sam starting next week. Matt, what's happening on Left Reckoning and with the Jacobin show?
Yeah, Left Reckoning, we got a new show coming out for you tomorrow. This weekend for our Left Reckoning supporters of our patreon.com/Left Reckoning, we talked about a number of people having a bit of a meltdown about the popularity of socialism, like libertarian Robbie Soav over at The Hill, and David Pacman, who decides right as the State Department starts counting Amy Goodman as a supporter of terrorist Cuba to talk about how the left is extreme. The left that's critical of like a Democratic Party that just committed a genocide. So patreon.com/leftbroken if you want David Griscom and I to hear David Griscom and I talking about that.
I'm eager to hear about that as well. As a reminder, folks, we will not be throwing DSA under the bus here, and even if it might hurt our
What if
pocketbook.
Gavin Newsom comes into studio?
Right. I mean, well, yes. He has that
DSA. That's interesting.
He has that megawatt smile that just might completely disarm us. I mean, and megawatt is being a little bit kind. It's very, I don't know, snake-like.
Villainish.
Right. Almost cartoonish in how it curls upward. Not trustworthy, but okay. I'm not trying to do body language expert stuff on Gavin Newsom. He's done plenty on the.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom's a fucking cunt.
In and of itself. Join themajorityreport.com. It helps us stay resilient, even if the Trump administration is cracking down on leftists. It's not going to impact our coverage, and that is because of you guys.
That's because I say things like this.
The president must know what he's
doing.
doing.
Is not working again, so I'm missing it. We're gonna have to fix it. The fun half break. I know. We're off to a great start. JoinTheMajorityReport.com. All right, folks. We will, in the fun half, actually have a lot to get to, including Trump bombing at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So check it out. See you in the fun half.
Okay, Emma, please.
Well, I feel that my voice is sorely lacking on the Majority Report.
Wait. Look, Sam is unpopular.
I do deserve a vacation at Disney World. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome Emma to the show.
It is Thursday.
I think you need to take over for Sam.
Yes, please.
No. I'm gonna pause you right there. Wait, what? You can't encourage Emma to live like this. And I'll tell you why. So was offered to twerk, sushi, and poker with the boys. Twerk, sushi, and poker with the boys. So was offered to twerk, sushi, and poker with the boys. What? Twerk, sushi, and poker.
Tim's upset.
Twerk, sushi, and poker with the boys. So was offered to twerk, sushi, and that's what we call the biz. Twerk, sushi, and poker with the boys.
Right.
Twerk, sushi, and poker.
We're gonna get
Stream time
I
is
just think that what you did to Tim
friendly for my
Pool
time
was
zone.
me.
Yeah, good.
Free speech.
I'm glad.
That's not what we're about here. Look at how sad he's become now. You shouldn't even talk about it. I think you're responsible.
I probably am in a certain way, but let's get to the meltdown here.
Oh yeah, I gotta click this.
Why spread your money across multiple prediction markets when you don't have to? Access the 3 major U.S. prediction.
Sushi. I'm sorry, I'm losing my fucking mind. So was offered to twerk, sushi, and poker with the boys.
Logic.
Twerk, sushi, and poker with the boys. Boy. Twerk. I think I'm like a little kid. I think I'm like a little kid. I think I'm like a kid. Twerk. I think I'm like a little kid. I think I'm like a little kid. Had this debate 7,000 times. A little kid. I think I'm like a little kid. I think I'm like a kid. Twerk. I'm losing my fucking mind.
Some people just don't understand.
So I'm not trying to be a dick right now, but like, I absolutely think the U.S. should be providing me with a wife and kids.
That's not what we're talking about here. Okay, all right.
It's not a fun job. Twerk?
That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Willy Wonka twerk?
That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
What's that offered to twerk?
That's a real thing. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
What's that offered to twerk? Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Rogan has done it again. That offered to twerk?
That's a real thing. That's a
poker with the boys.
I think he might be blowing it out of proportion.
So, yeah, it does. During time stream, it just made wasabi paste to go with the kimbap. Oh, I want some kimbap. I don't think I've ever had. Is that like sandwich stuff in a sushi roll? What up, good for Gabby? Welcome. How are you? What's going on? How are you?
Sam doesn't want to do this show anymore. It was so much easier when the Majority Report was just you. You were happy.
Let's change the subject.
Rangers and Knicks are doing great.
Now shut up. You don't want people saying reckless things on your program.
That's one of the most difficult parts about this show.
This is a pro-killing podcast.
I'm thinking maybe it's time we bury the hatchet.
Left is best. Trump Violet.
Twerk?
Don't be foolish and don't fucking tweet at me and don't bitch. The way Emma has cucked all of these people, love it.
That's where my heart is, so I wrote my honors thesis.
Yeah, I think I want one. Because I'm looking at Seamless right now to order something.
I guess I should hand the main
And I'm like, I've never had
You want to go right from the foreign policy.
We already fund Israel, dude. Are you against that?
That's a tougher question I don't have an answer to.
Let's see. Oh, Christ.
Incredible theme song.
Hi, Bumbler.
Emma Vigeland, absolutely one of my favorite people. Actually, not just in the game, like, period.
Okay.
We are back, folks. It is the fun half of the Majority Report. Let's get right into it. The White House Correspondents' Dinner was over the weekend. The long-awaited
I
White
can't
House
believe that they
Correspondents'
did one.
dinner.
Delayed.
And yes, it was delayed because, if you'll
Spam
recall, in
kimbap.
April,
What do
there
you
was a man
what do you suggest? Well, I like
on another
Bulgari.
floor at the hotel with weaponry,
Beef, onion.
fired off a shot, and you know, the administration is quite eager
And how
to play
filling
up
is
the
it?
threats to Trump's life.
'Cause this is
and we haven't
$20.
heard that much about it since. I'm just throwing that out there.
All I remember about that is Stephen Miller using his pregnant wife as
I
a
could get a
shield.
Bugatti bowl.
Guiding her around in front of his body with his hands.
I forgot about that because all I remember is the guy pulling like the shrimp off of somebody else's plate as everyone.
I mean,
That was
honestly,
funny.
if
The
we're
girl's
gonna-
taking the wine.
If we're gonna die, I might as well get these goodies.
I'm
I mean,
glad to
me,
have
that
you here,
indicated
Gabby.
how,
Welcome to the
honestly, people
community.
were not taking this threat
You're
that
prawn in
seriously.
yours?
I
Okay.
mean, it's America.
Right.
And
Oh, a
'cause I'm looking
gunshot?
here,
All
there's
right,
like
let me at
8
least finish the
pieces.
shrimp cocktail.
Is that enough?
Freedom, baby.
And so, like, they
Or do I
had
want a
the
bowl?
redo over the weekend. I'd forgotten about it,
You know what?
not
Can I get
because
a-
who cares?
We need the ballroom.
It's always good for Trump to have more time to write these jokes
You're
and really
right.
lock his set in.
And people will remember, okay, it's long been speculated that
I'm
this
gonna
is
get a
around
bowl.
15 years ago at this point, at the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner. Trump was in attendance. Obama had some good writers and is just more naturally charismatic at this kind of thing than Trump. And he roasted him for peddling this birtherism conspiracy, including this.
And now
you know,
Trump has
great
his job,
bit
which is
that,
crazy.
said,
If you're hungry,
I'll
you
do
might
you one
want
better,
2
Trump.
plates. Will you doing a
If you want
special
my
1K
birth certificate, I have
subscriber
my birth
stream?
video, and they cut
Hopefully
to
we
the
get to that
opening
number
number
soon.
From The Lion King. And
If
it
we
was
get to
very
1,000, I will
well-received by the
definitely be
crowd,
making
and they
a
all
thank
laughed,
you
and they
video, at
Cut to
least.
Trump staring blankly, angrily at the stage, as everyone laughed at him. And some people say that that was a moment where he decided he's going to go into politics. So a lot comes back to this, you know,
Create my own
stupid,
stir-fry.
already sycophantic event in Washington, the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Like before any of that happened, I remember this being famous during the Bush era because Colbert gave a famous speech, sort of searing into the Iraq War.
Yes,
And
and
it
that
sort of,
was
like,
when it was
put everyone on notice. about
right.
it, yeah.
That was when it was at its like peak of I guess, you know, actually calling out people in power. But still, it's the whole display of it is members of the White House, you know, the press association, the people that are supposed to be covering those in power critically, you know, hang out there and hobnob. There was footage that came out
Yeah,
of
baby.
Kristen
All right.
Welker
I'm gonna get a
being
sushi
very
roll
cozy with
and a
Stephen
Bugatti
Miller
bowl.
over the weekend at this very White House
These
Correspondents'
Bugatti
Dinner. And I'm not saying in
tacos you get here.
an
Ooh,
appropriate
okay.
way, but you know, like
A different kind
in
of
a different kind of
inappropriate.
inappropriate way, like being friendly with this not. And so, you know, you would think though, because Trump has
So, yeah, check this out.
thoroughly purged all of these institutions that he has to interact with any kind of something that would be critical of him.
So-
He's surrounded himself in some sort of like palace of sycophancy. You would
So, like, this is the first, like, thank you video I made when I hit 50 subscribers. 50. Somebody had requested I do a reaction to a freestyle, so I did that. So I'll probably do something similar when I hit 1,000. I'll do a thank you video, probably be a viewer request of something, maybe. We'll see. And yeah, I can't believe I'm close, man. 972 over here on YouTube. On Twitch, we're further away. Much further away. Much further. Oh God. We are at 223 on Twitch. But yeah.
You see what's happening?
The other day, a senator I knew got a text, a great guy, from his wife. And she said, when you get home, I want to have you immediately come up the stairs and make love to me. And he said, I can't do both. You know what? You know?
Oh my God.
Can't go up the stairs and make love. Does anybody get that? Why? I thought that
Oh my
was
God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! He went full Elon. He went full Elon.
Do you get the haha? Do you get the haha?
Did you get the haha?
Like, so one long-standing thing on this show has been very few times that people ever see
They actually
Trump
have been about
Yeah.
And one of the few times is when I think someone calls Hillary Clinton a dog, and, and it might have been Trump, and I think
Laughing at himself?
his own calling Hillary a dog. I think that's the only other time I can remember Trump
You know
laughing.
what?
And this
Fuck
is
it.
like,
Extreme lunch.
Major IRS or state
I'm a little bit
tax
sleep
problems.
deprived.
Don't
I'm
get
making
ripped
bad
off.
decisions.
Avoid
We're getting a
Shitting
bim
the
pop
bed Elon
roll
Musk
and a
moment with
bowl.
Dave Chappelle show.
He's more of an improv guy than a stand-up.
I mean, and we learned that from his inability to kind of stay on message with speeches and why he's so boring at the State of the Union, but he can like get the crowd going at the rallies when he doesn't have a teleprompter. This might even be a worse situation for him.
I see what's happening, like, because everyone's getting so old. It should be more. There should be more fun in this.
Also,
It's
you're
just-
80. You're 80.
The somber build-up to this joke.
I know.
I see what's happening.
Yeah.
I see what's happening.
Yeah, you'll probably be dead.
By the
in
way,
a
I
couple
got a
years.
phone call the other day. What?
His funeral's next week.
Get aside. I do think we need term limits in Congress. I think term limits are very important because I see
Ordered.
what's happening. I see what's happening.
Ordered.
The
Makes
other day,
Dave
a
Rubin sound
senator
like George
I knew
Carlin.
got a text, a great guy, from his wife.
Dance with the Devil by
She said,
Immortal
"When you
Technique?
get
I have
home, I wanna
not.
have you immediately
He's on
come
the
up
list, though.
stairs and
Immortal Technique is
make love
definitely on
to
the
me."
list. And you know what?
And he
Maybe
said,
that'll be the song I
can't
do
both.
for 1,000
You know
subscribers.
what?
I'll shout you out.
In other words, can't go up the stairs and make love. Does anybody get that? Well, I thought that was
God. God
That was
damn.
Actually, the only thing I thought was good in
He's
this whole
so
freaking
fucking
stupid
senile.
speech. That was the only
And they're laughing with him because they're sycophants. New York Times, Washington Post.
And make love too, you know. So we're looking for term limits. Does anybody understand this stuff? Get aside. I do.
Holy shit.
Oh man. Oh man.
Holy
I've
shit.
been there,
dude.
brother.
Of course, he thinks the best joke in the whole goddamn thing is like the making love to your wife as an old guy joke.
I can't fuck you up the stairs. I got arthritis.
Sorry, I rarely do this, but I'm gonna insist on a 0.75 speed playback.
Okay, okay.
I can't do both. You know what? You know. In other words,
God damn, dude, this guy.
Does he say 2 words? Ha ha.
In other words, tee. I mean, come on. What do you mean in other words? It's like he's trying to teach a baby how to laugh. Ba is for ball.
The hell's the matter with you people? That was funny as hell.
You know they cheated.
This whole goddamn speech sucks. You completely turned the audience. How many people got screamed at when he walked back behind the curtain?
Oh my god. You think he was talking about Mitch McConnell, by the way?
I don't know. I mean, all his friends are Lindsey Graham.
They could all qualify.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
Yeah,
the wife part.
Oh, right.
Oh, well, it's all, he admits that it was all written for him and he's pissed. Oh, I thought this was the best thing in the whole goddamn thing. And it's like he's trying, it's like he's
I have to save
trying
her.
to get the crowd, by mimicking the laughter,
Fucking why?
he thinks that the crowd's gonna follow with an upswell. Hee hee.
Kickstart the laugh.
Hey, what up?
Does the button not work?
Yeah, John Lithium's
You're
here.
supposed to, like, at the
Gabby.
rallies,
Welcome. Are you
all the
new,
seals
Gabby?
clap to-
Welcome,
for what I
welcome.
do.
Like when
Give
I
us
say
a follow.
Pinky Herman, they know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you people?
You get it.
You know,
Yeah, I know, this mission sucks.
in other words,
Yeah, man, before you listen to this album, you should do that for, okay. It's the ether of storytelling. Oh, that's high praise. I have very little health to save this lady.
Man, wow. Okay.
Oh, that's a sound drop.
I've
Yes.
never heard him try to tell a joke. You know, everything funny he's ever said has just been like pretty much just mean.
Mean, right.
Oh,
right.
she's the girlfriend. Oh, sweet.
I mean, he's funny in the sense of like, you know, God, can you believe how this guy behaves, and can you believe what is coming out of his mouth and how rude it is? But
Right, he doesn't understand how he's funny.
no, exactly.
He's just funny as an existence.
Exactly.
He's not an actual funny person.
I mean,
so funny.
Haley Stevens effect. But
Like, that joke is only relatable to people who are 65 and older.
I know.
It belongs in like the back page of a Playboy in 1970.
It truly.
Dude.
It's literally one step away from a mother-in-law joke. I mean, give me a break, bro. Oh, God. Okay. All right. Let's do 15 here. We've got more. Shockingly, he stayed on stage and didn't rage quit, I guess. This is him speaking about and whining about the press, which is, you know,
Oh, yeah, I remember her.
this audience.
Yeah, they've not powered the show up.
Yep.
Sometimes I really do think that.
Been a
some
while
of you
since
don't
you've been
like
here.
me.
Okay, you're around.
In
Good
fact,
to
I've
know.
been
I
reporting
never know who
93%
comes back,
negative
who's been here,
publicity.
you know.
93. So how the hell did I win the election by so much?
Thank you. I
Thank you,
appreciate
I don't
you
think
for
that's
being a
true. I can't
long-time
believe it's 93.
subscriber.
In the 80s
Thank
maybe,
you.
but not 93. But this place is really the largest group of Trump derangement syndrome people ever put together at one time, I suspect. Sometimes I really do.
To be laughing at that as a correspondent is so embarrassing to me. Like, ah ha ha, yeah, that thing where you attack us all the time and wonder why you're hated by all of us.
Right. I mean, like, the impulse from him, and there are other people like this now, where we've talked about this before, how you can't get past paywalls now, right? Like, all these outlets are increasingly gatekeeping information. More and more outlets that we used to be able to have access to, they're like, oh, you can't buy it, you need to pay for a subscription. All of this, like, these bot campaigns on social media, it's all pay to play, elevating one point of view, astroturfing it, and everything is public relations. Like, I get the Politico newsletter, and it's like sponsored by this AI company, sponsored by this oil and gas company. And you're like, how is it possible that you guys are going to have critical coverage of these industries if that's the case? And so Trump is essentially complaining that it isn't more like public relations when we're already seeing our information ecosystem so thoroughly.
Oh, we got a kiss.
And he's bitching about this too after an ally of his just acquired a major broadcast news organization, CBS, that is just there to be sycophantic towards him and push his agenda. And he's still bitching. He's still bitching.
He has the Supreme Court. He has the Congress.
You've got
he
everything.
has the president. He has the FCC firing people who criticize him.
I mean,
he has CBS.
He's literally
getting CNN. He has Fox News.
Yes, he's the fattest baby ever, sitting in his own shit with like chocolate all over his face and whining about how hungry he is. It's so unbecoming. Here is another attempt at a joke. And
Oh, you
this
mean
is
like
where it gets
this?
Really, really, really spicy because there's one White House reporter who seems to be
You mean like
interested in
this?
doing her job, and it's Caitlin
A
Collins.
fat baby sitting in
So
shit,
we've talked about this dynamic
crying.
before. There are a lot of liberals that are horrified and shell-shocked by decades of
Check out this album.
conservative media saying
Listen
that
to this
there's a
album.
liberal bias in media.
This is
and
great
so
album.
they go out of their way to be kinder to Republicans,
Staples' Crybaby.
to give their false claims this sense of like balance as with the truth.
Excuse me.
And it's part of why we're in this situation right now, of this moment of fascism. You know, Caitlin Collins, she started at the Daily Caller, and I don't know what her
That was you
background
last
is and what
night
her
with the-
politics are, but it's like she wasn't necessarily cowed by that or intimidated by that. So she's been, I think, probably the best White House correspondent left on television, and maybe the only true one left on television who isn't CBS or Fox, as we say. So
and then like a British person sneaks in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the real
right.
question.
And you know, she's a white woman, so Trump isn't immediately calling her some sort of farm animal or something like that, but she does challenge him on occasion, so he's upset that she doesn't smile enough. And what else can he do but make a transphobic joke about her?
But they'll learn their lesson. But I want to personally congratulate CNN's Caitlin Collins.
Caitlin Collins.
Receiving her award. It was all about me. It's a fake. She shouldn't get the award. It was a fake, but I didn't mind. I said, Caitlin, congratulations. But it was fake. There's no question about it. But she's a young, attractive woman. She never smiled.
So, okay, there we go. With the pan to her, like, you know, her back, calling her a young, attractive woman, she's got to be like, I can't react. You're complaining about paid awards, fake awards. FIFA created a fake peace prize for you. It's a soccer federation to give to you.
The Dodgers gave him a World Series ring.
I mean, you bullied this
really?
right-wing think tanker from Venezuela into handing over her peace prize to you. You're saying that this whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Because if the Peace Prize already went to some sycophant, the Peace Prize doesn't mean shit.
But she's a young, attractive woman. She never smiles. I said, Caitlin, do you ever smile?
Dude,
You have a nice position.
I'll give Trump this. At least, dude, he is revealing how bullshit everything is. All the institutions, all the things we thought mattered. Oh, Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, fucking Washington Post, New York Times, the paper of record. Democracy dies in darkness. It's full of shit. Because Bezos owns the fucking Washington Post. Whoever owns the New York Times is also a sycophantic cunt. Like, he's revealed it's all a house of cards. Which is good, because that means the DSA can be like, yeah, we actually want to build a real foundation. Whatever norms and things you think we're like trampling over, motherfucker already did it. So go fuck yourselves. I appreciate that.
Who Dylan Mulvaney is.
Also, why would he have to inform Caitlin that she's not the one in the ad campaign? I informed her.
Yeah.
It was Dylan Mulvaney.
I couldn't have been wrong thinking it was Dylan. I had to tell her.
She was staring at the can going, is that me? Did I just make millions of dollars?
Also, he admitted that he thinks Dylan's a hot lady.
Yes.
Right, by saying how attractive Caitlin Collins is. And
different young, attractive woman.
No one remembers who this is. How can you do a
Dude, people
I can't
don't
bang
remember
my
that
wife
fucking
because I can't make
Bud
it up
Light
the stairs joke in the same speech as you're
thing.
making some sort of TikTok reference to some
shit that happened fucking 4 years ago? When a trans influencer got like a Bud Light deal?
feels weird.
It'll be over soon.
You know who's writing his jokes? The Babylon fucking
We
Bee.
got you.
That's
like
who.
Nasty, unfunny, like.
And then he called her attractive, and now he's saying
I picked
okay,
up a
but
shift
you're
for
trans.
Wednesday. Hell yeah.
Which, okay, look, if we want to turn around and be woke about it, yeah, Dylan Mulvaney's beautiful, so is Caitlin Collins. But I don't think that's the point that he's making.
A couple of brunettes.
He's referencing the Bud Light controversy from 2020? Right,
Yeah,
got it.
6 years ago.
That might be his most timely reference yet.
Pinky Airman could have got that deal.
Yeah.
You have a nice position. You're at CNN Fake News. You should be a happy person. So smile, Caitlin. Just smile. But
It's a big club and you ain't in it. He loves saying that stupid
she got a
smile.
new
I know,
sponsor, like,
because he's a
you
fucking
can put up the news
misogynist.
that
He
way
wants women to do what he wants. He's a rapist.
And I just wonder who the joke writers were. First of all, I mean, they must have
Babylon Bee.
raided
It's gotta
the
be.
Gutfeld writers' room.
Yes, definitely Gutfeld.
I was guessing Schneider, maybe?
Schneider, right? Well, Schneider also, remember we played his clip of him being like, what else is there?
Yeah, it's very similar joke, right?
Trump took his, he really just needs a pork pie hat, and then it'll complete the look. But yeah, I think they rated the Gutfeld.
I know,
writers'
6
room for
years.
this,
It's
and
been
they also have
6
to find
years
a way
since
to do it in
2020.
Trump's
Isn't that
voice
fucking
as
crazy?
well, right? So
Isn't that fucked
you gotta
up?
write in his like 1950s era sexism of telling this female reporter to smile more and then work backwards from there. It's like, how can we do
this
it
your
in a way
place?
that
Ah.
Trump is happy about? Okay, he gets to be rude to women. and then we'll work in Dylan Mulvaney. So I mean,
Well, he's
After
illiterate.
mentioning attraction.
yeah.
They're probably just showing him like.
All right, we got a girl now.
Pictures of
Bud
Caitlin
Light can.
frowning. Pictures of Dylan. And then a Bud Light can.
Those are his cue
I
cards.
get it from there.
It's like a college football game. Putting up the offensive play. Panther 5.
Yeah,
Got
exactly.
it. Okay.
Hot girl, no smile. All right, I'll take it from here.
Got it.
Tack, and I
All
thought
right, let's do
Caitlin
that mission. Let's do the date
really
mission.
made it big with a major new sponsorship, but then I informed her that it wasn't her.
Okay.
The Bud Light can. It was Dylan Mulvaney. And Dylan Mulvaney cost Bud Light $35 billion in market cap. That was the worst commercial ever made, by the way. For those few people that want to hear that, most people don't care, but I would.
It is a disservice to actual jokes, yes.
Love how defensive this
Dylan
is.
Mulvaney, and their market cap has gone down by $35 billion. Who wrote that commercial? And then you have writer Josh.
I thought that their war with Bud Light was over. They can't keep track of this. I thought they were. Didn't Bud Light sponsor the
UFC.
Here's how you get
UFC,
ammunition.
right.
Yeah.
So he's outdated even on like Bud Light's already come to heel.
I do love his like bomb like defensiveness too. He goes, nobody in here wants to hear this, but I care.
Yeah.
I care.
I don't even care about the subject of Dylan Mulvaney's commercial.
You're getting the stolen cop car.
It's the worst commercial ever.
Let's
Aren't
go
you
to a bar.
supposed to kind of play to the audience? And if you care about something but they don't, like I wouldn't do stand-up comedy and go out there and talk specifically about
green
how Eli
bottle
Manning
of
wasted 2 years of Odell Beckham Jr.'s career.
This area
Did to
seems
the
to suit
salary
her.
cap.
I care. He could have been one of the best receivers of
know.
all time if they weren't throwing
This
him
is the
over the
only
middle on
girlfriend
those
where you
slants,
don't get
those hospital
bonuses.
balls. I care.
Free respawn. I keep getting a weapon.
Okay, here's
Stop
more.
with
This is
grenades.
when,
This is
Yeah,
his
word.
joke. Anymore. This is,
I will get those
after
grenades.
When,
but it's still funny.
this is
Oh,
probably the
yeah.
funniest thing that happened, honestly. Actually, it's in the lineage of Trump listening to things that trouble him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, like you mentioned, the Obama joke all the years back then.
But she looks
Here
tired.
he
Let's
has
get
to
her
listen
home.
To Wolf Blitzer of CNN award some Wall Street Journal reporters for their work on the Epstein story, which he
Well,
sued
get in the
Wall
fucking
Street
car
Journal
then.
over, and he has to kind of sit
Also,
there
you
and
can't walk
laugh
up
at it.
2 blocks. Sorry, Grove homie.
Journal's courageous reporting on President Trump's past relationship with
Past.
financier Jeffrey Epstein triggered the
All right.
release of the
Oh my God, dude. All right. I'm
Wow,
sorry. This is
Blitzer.
great, but like, look at that. Look at how Wolf Blitzer.
Soon
even
she'll be
there
powerless to
has
resist.
to
I don't like the sound of
emphasize
that.
past to suck up to this stupid fat Mad King.
And
God.
you're gonna see, like, it's actually worse that he does it because in the very next lines he even mentions how some of these reporters had to change their residences and stuff because of the pressure and the harassment they got for reporting on this stuff. So
You
then
never
to, like,
played a GTA
First of
game?
all, it draws into question, like, why are y'all there with the guy who was friends
Well,
with Jeffrey
6 is
Epstein
coming
and,
out
like,
soon.
Actually is covering it up. But
And is
anyway.
waging war against the First Amendment and the
Exactly.
press. Like, what are
Right.
we doing here?
Yeah, but
They should have not. Any respectable organization shouldn't go out. Should have not participated in this out of protest, but they want their access, so that's why they're there. And that's where Wolf Blitzer is afraid. So he has to emphasize the past part because, what, CNN needs to
His
get an
past
interview with him?
connections with
I don't think the
Epstein? Are
Times
you
has gone
kidding?
to the Correspondence Dinner since the
You're not a
Obama-
gamer, so this is fascinating. Well, I'm glad.
Times?
The New York Times.
Trump just subpoenaed multiple reporters from the New York Times, then had to walk it back because they reported on Qatar gifting him a new plane.
I could be wrong about that. I'll check, but I think I think you shouldn't go to this thing. It's weird.
Absolutely not. You should stand with other members of the press who are being harassed
It's a lot
and
of fun. I mean,
blackballed
this
by
is
you, and
tough
make
because
a
this is like
united front.
PlayStation 2.
Send OANN or whatever
So it's
bullshit,
kinda-
like Tim Pool correspondent can show up there and clap like seals as you make jokes about trans
kinda
people.
tricky.
CNN doesn't have to show up for this, but anyway.
But I used to play this, so the muscle memory is coming back.
The Journal's courageous reporting on
He
President
played
Trump's
3 Vice City and
past
San Andreas.
relationship
Very
with
guy.
financier
Oh my
Jeffrey
god,
Epstein
damn cop.
triggered the release of the so-called Epstein files. Thousands of documents that might otherwise have
But I think they've done a pretty good job of like
Oh
getting away from that
threat
over
of a
time.
lawsuit. The Journal published a story about a provocative letter to Epstein bearing President Trump's signature. Trump quickly filed a $20 billion
Yep,
lawsuit
6 has a female protagonist coming up. That's another good piece of progress.
Khadija Safdar's home address.
Which the Chuds are furious about, of
I mean,
course.
who's cheering in the crowd as Blitzer talks about, after revealing Khadija Safdar's home address?
Well, I mean, they're cheering that it's being brought up at all, which begs the question as to what kind of environment you're contributing to that this should be that this is in any way controversial to bring up, or like that this would be like sticking it to Trump. You guys are
I
participating.
realized I
in
was
this
old
theater
last year.
where
I disavow all
it's
future
enabled
birthdays.
these
Me
kinds
too.
of abuses towards the First Amendment.
Let's do it together. Me too.
Yeah.
smiling.
It feels like they're cheering on the $20 billion lawsuit, because that's the point.
Or it could be that. I mean, we know how like it's like so stacked with right wingers. But well, let's keep going.
Against the Journal, revealing reporter Khadija Safdar's home address.
Oh, gross.
Her family had to be relocated. The Journal was kicked off of Air Force One. But
Let's
the
do
reporters
sweet.
continue to file revelatory
Yeah, let's do
stories.
sweet first.
Please welcome the winners of the Katharine Graham Award from the Wall Street Journal. Khadija Safdar, Sadie Gurman, Annie Linsky, Josh Dawsey again, Alex Leary, Rebecca Ballhouse, and Ryan Barber. Their colleague, Joe Palazzolo, could not attend tonight.
Where is Trump? Oh, he's clapping. Oh, weakness.
Here we go, Natch.
Is he gonna get up?
We got ammunition open now.
Wow, he's gonna shake
she
their
shakes her hand.
hands.
That was Khadija Safdar.
God.
Those are the
I thought he
women
would have
who
been a real
exposed
baby, even
him?
more so about it.
Well,
but-
no. Instead, he's like, I got away with it. Your reporting doesn't fucking matter at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right. I guess
word. That's
right.
crazy.
Doing whatever the hell I want.
I guess that's right. And when he's going like this.
Oh, this is where you get to take over territories.
I might
This is
have
my
directed
favorite.
harassment towards you and your family. Well, turns out I got away with the whole Epstein Files cover-up and me being his best friend for all these years. Sorry.
It's fucking egregious.
It is.
Water under the bridge, and there's not a bridge to the island.
Yeah.
I definitely have to go
Right,
get a gun.
exactly.
Let me get
Censor
some
Sprouse, it
grenades.
really is dystopian.
I know, it's so
Yeah,
late, right?
absolutely. Dan for Columbus, thank you.
You forget how much
Wait to
preamble
watch the
there
White
is.
House Correspondents' dinner video so we can get a live reaction. There you go. I saw some clips over the weekend. I was just like, my brain can't take this right now. I don't want to watch this garbage.
There's actually another thing that we made Emma wait to watch.
Okay.
This is number 13 on the.
Yes. So,
So
tell
we
me
got
about
10.
this. This
That's
is,
enough.
I guess, a Canadian political party that I'm not aware of.
Yeah,
called
they're progressive conservatives.
Which seems like an oxymoron. But it does, as we were, it does, I think,
I'm not spending
betray the fact
$2,000.
that does progressive mean that much anymore? Like, does conservative mean that much anymore when we're in this moment of our institutions falling apart? Like, does liberalism mean that much anymore when even the Republican Party is identifying the fact that, like, no, we have to interfere in markets and we have to tilt them in the way that makes our friends rich, and Democrats need to be starting to think about, like, disciplining this free market economy as well. But yeah, so progressive conservative doesn't seem to make much sense to me.
I'll be voting for the commie fascists.
Okay. Yeah, right. I mean,
All right, so now we gotta
we could
go.
get into certain contradictions of the Nazi Party, including socialism in their title, but whatever. Tell me more about this clip.
Well, this is Canadian politician Bill Oliver giving a speech to the Legislative Assembly of Canada, and he makes a mistake here in the reading of this speech that I think will be apparent.
All right, ballers.
Madam Speaker, another concern relates to expectations. One of the dangers associated with creating advocacy offices is that citizens often develop expectations that exceed the powers actually granted to those offices. Here's a more natural flowing version of that section that reads like a legislative speech rather than a series of short points.
No.
Madam Speaker, one of my concerns with this legislation is the potential gap between what New Brunswickers may reasonably expect this office to accomplish and what the office will actually have the authority to do once it is established. When people hear that government...
Oh, man.
He doesn't miss a beat. He is a complete autopilot.
That's what you got to do, though. No, I think he
Do you think he noticed?
Deep down, I think he noticed, and it's like, you do not show any wavering.
Right.
No one will notice. Everyone's asleep. There's no one watching this.
Right.
I'm the progressive conservative. People don't even know I exist down in the States.
Yeah. Just keep it moving, man.
But I've seen a few things like this happen before.
In all this noise,
where do you stand?
Like the House of Commons to like Wyoming State Legislature.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Sorry,
all
I have to
aides
actually do
are
work at
all
work so
generating
that
this
they
stuff with
know that I'm
ChatGPT.
working and I get
Yes. You know what it reminded me of? It's remember when Biden, when he was trying to convince everybody that, he still had it. He was like, repeat the line. Remember he read the teleprompter and said,
I don't remember that.
repeat the line. But that was prior, like that's more defensible, I guess, than saying, I don't know which is
Once you
worse.
do the
The fact
territories,
that this
you
is
can
an
pick up their
AI prompt,
expensive
though, this falls on the
weapons.
staff that included this.
Yeah,
Exactly,
It's laziness versus dementia.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
mean, right.
But it shows how the sausage is made. Here's this.
It is noteworthy that the
Once
percentage
again,
of women who
I
register
wish
to vote
more
and
games
cast
did
a
this
ballot is
territory.
consistently higher than the
Same
percentage
thing
of
with
the
the
men who
Nemesis
do so.
system
End of
from
quote.
Shadow of Mordor.
Repeat the line.
Wait, put it
Women
up.
are not without
Go back.
electoral and/or
Because we didn't have it up here. This part, now it's all good.
Or the
percentage
facial
of the men who
recognition
do so.
from
End of
LA
quote.
Noir.
Than the percentage
Those
of the men
things
who do
should
so.
be
End
in
of quote.
most games.
Repeat the line. Women are not without electoral and/or.
God, that was
One more time.
And you know what that was?
Repeat the line.
You know what that was after? Repeat. Yeah, man. You got this. That was after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade.
Oh my god.
That's why our response to it was so vigorous. Huh?
Yeah. Okay, so that wasn't even. I thought that was the repeat the line thing was more recent when he was really ailing after the debate. No, it was just in the middle of his term as well. So
Almost as if the signs were there.
almost as if the signs were there. Exactly. Dang. I mean, honestly, there should be regulations,
Sorry,
and they should not be
one
allowed
more
to be
thing
used
I'm
in
we'll get back
in government. But
That's going to be like
taking over
taking
ball attack,
somebody
it's
off
over.
of a very addictive substance.
I also have a
Or I
purple
think the
do-rag, so I
staffers
could be
that
both.
Write these sorts of speeches.
could be both.
Whose
Yes.
jobs it's been to produce this sort of text beforehand.
But we rep Grove. We rep Grove. We've been repping Grove.
Because everybody's just going to be using summaries
yeah.
for everything.
Well, that's something I can get behind. Sneaking in good things into legislation without them noticing. No, not so adventurous. It is funny that how these conservatives who love to talk like libertarians are fine with some intervention when they benefit. Money for their car company? Great idea. I'll benefit the country to develop this industry. Science is political. Anna Paulina Luna has literally left the AI prompts in official government documents. Of course she has.
I mean, it's crazy. Like the lack of concern and how lazy. I don't know.
Well, it's
really
also like,
shocking.
the lack of desire to have some sort of like actual comprehensive, like to have reading comprehension, to be able to grasp larger concepts that can't be solved with summaries. I mean, we learned this in school with Cliff Notes.
You're a lawmaker in any country, like let alone the United States, but like if you were like Czechia,
Yeah.
like you should to like submit something and you haven't like looked over it, like especially because like a lot of these people come from law backgrounds. Like what do you do besides read these sort of documents? Isn't that supposed to be your main competency? I don't know where Anna Paulina Luna comes from.
Yeah. Shapeshifter Trump. Most people don't care about Ghostbusters 2016 being woke feminist trash, but I care.
If you cared, you would have laughed.
Some guy says Trump can't deliver a punchline through the fog of dementia. His rambling explanations get in the way. Not Nick Fuentes says the Trump comedy part of the White House Correspondents' Dinner was just him channeling his inner German part, despite being a germaphobe. My comedy skills are horrible, but not as horrible as him bombing at that dinner. Olivia Reingold wrote these jokes for Donald Trump. Crimes? Yeah. Carolina Commie, poor Tony Hinchcliffe. He sacrificed his career making MAGA jokes for the election so he could get this correspondent dinner speech writing job, and now Trump is bombing with his perfectly crafted jokes.
He fucked up my Dylan.
I mean, did Hinchcliffe really fuck his career up?
Yeah.
Did who?
Hinchcliffe really fuck his
No, he
career
didn't
up.
have a career
Exactly.
until that happened.
He was always
Yeah.
just kind of bottom feeder.
No, that made his career.
What was he gonna do? Like do some very respected specials?
Yeah, right.
Right on the same shitty roast I used to write on.
Yeah.
Like those other losers.
Julio, unfortunately, in Alabama.
No.
So shout out to Caitlin Collins, who's from my state. She seems cool, but definitely giving centrist vibes. I don't blame her too much since she's from Alabama.
She's from the Daily Caller, so
Yeah, but I don't
she's
really.
a journalist.
I don't care, you know, what if you're holding the administration accountable.
I don't have
and
more
I think
fucking
the way
spray
she's done it
paint?
has been good. I like when I hear her interviews.
I thought you just always have
have
spray
these
paint.
like glaring reactions.
That's
like
annoying.
When Jake Tapper does it on CNN, and it's like this is the most biased question I've ever heard in my fucking life. Like, you know,
That's
for
really
the most
annoying.
part, she
Seems to respect herself as a journalist.
can see like what the storyline is.
Also, like, yeah, that's the thing about journalists is like it's almost kind of inappropriate to peg them as either like progressive or centrist or like I think the main question is just don't be like beholden to like Israeli nationalism. Would be an objective as
Right.
much as you can.
Hey Trey says it was amazing to see these journalists winning awards for their work on Trump diddling kids, and they just go shake his hand and smile. Insane.
And also, no one's like, yeah, like it is a little bit weird to be given awards for this stuff. No one's been locked up in this country. In
Yeah.
other countries, there have been even royals have been taken down by this. And whereas who's paid any consequence except like Warren Buffett is going to give as much to the Gates Foundation.
And Larry Summers, in his retirement years, can't teach at Harvard
He
anymore.
can't be on the Center for American Progress.
Oh no! What will Nira do without her buddy? Oh no! What? I mean, to be honest, it's amazing that even like I use Twitter so much less than I used to, and that the Elon bot takeover has not really deterred Nira from continuing to post at an unbelievable clip. Even not getting a Senate not being able to be confirmed for some low-level position that Biden was trying to give her in
I have
his
provoked
term.
a gang
She
war.
had to step aside because her tweets were too controversial, and she's still posting.
She retweeted Nick Fuentes saying like, "I'm done with Republicans."
I thought she said that Hasan was the same as Nick Fuentes. Well, but she likes Nick Fuentes, I guess, more.
I can't believe I don't
Well,
have fucking. What's it called?
Pasta passport. Donald Trump with the
Fucking
correspondence.
spray
Is this
paint.
thing on? Chris Burdick, we need to get back to those classy White House Correspondents' dinners, like the one where Colin Jost called Joe Biden a good and kind man at the height of Biden sponsoring a genocide. Colin Jost is horrible. I mean, sorry. He's just, I think, pretty awful. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, so diplomatic.
I want to
Way
correct.
to walk it back.
I'm realizing how many people watch our show now.
I know. Some people watch our show that might be offended by that. I'm sorry. I
Who?
don't
Scarlett
care.
Johansson?
When we just had like 50,000 subscribers.
Exactly.
Say whatever you want.
Exactly. Sorry.
I think he does a fine job.
He's not horrible. He's just awful.
Colin Jost is fine. I mean, Michael Che's the better one,
Noah
but
from
like,
Tampa. He laughed when he was hanging out
who
with Jake
cares?
Paul. Trump did. Yes. I remember that. Yes.
What did Paul do?
I forget. Just like was a man in his, his orbit.
Take his shirt off.
Probably.
spray paints on the roof of the building next to CJ.
Carnation Revolution says MR Carnation Revolution.
I
Don't forget
thought
about
it
Olivia
like
Ryan
stayed
posting
there.
the
I didn't
phone
know
camera
that
at
it
herself
went
instead
away.
of the unfolding scene. Right.
Forgot.
Oh, that was a great one too.
Yes.
So many good moments at that.
I know.
That was actually very good.
Yes.
Look what's happening to me.
But it is like that is what the influencer style of journalism is like right now on the right.
Give my facial reactions to this.
Yes. Let's quickly.
I forgot there's like
let's
hearts
do
and shit.
9.
This hood is yours. Let's
Fox
go.
News is really going, all hands on deck here about the greatest threat that this country faces, and that is
Thanks,
New
Jet.
Jersey's own
By the way,
Hasan
welcome,
Piker.
Jet.
Many
How you
people are
doing?
saying that New Jersey is the breeding ground for terrorism
Appreciate
in
you,
this
appreciate
country, and that's part of where I got
All right, well, let's go
radicalized,
get
obviously,
spray paint and then come
in
back
New
here.
Jersey, and same here.
'Cause I'm gonna
with
forget
Hasan.
that that's there.
This is- I mean, the reason I'm bringing that up is because they open with
I
his
must defend.
birthplace, as if we're like talking about some historical,
Can we deport him?
This literally reads well, there you go. Okay. To be honest, my brain hadn't gotten to the racism part yet.
Why have we deported him? Oh.
It's just like it's almost like they're reading through his Wikipedia. Like, why is it relevant that he's from New Jersey? And you've just solved it. But anyway, here is Fox News over the weekend with their
Gain
important
respect and money from taking over
story,
territory.
the rise of Hasan Piker.
Let's take a look. Hasan Piker is born in New Jersey to Turkish parents, but raised in
This is
Istanbul.
crazy.
He has family ties. You
This is crazy that they did a whole
Look how
fucking
close New
segment.
Jersey is to Turkey. I've never
That's
noticed.
my favorite.
The Jersey shores of Tripoli.
Wait, is that border secure?
I mean, Eric Adams says that it's the Turkey of America, I guess. You'll know, this is my favorite too, where they go, you'll know this guy, and then he totally mispronounces Cenk's name. You'll know this guy, right?
The household name.
Sank Uyghur?
Nursing home people watching this in the middle of the day are like, oh.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
Family ties. You'll recognize this guy. He entered political media as the Young Turks co-founder's nephew. That's Cenk Uyghur, who you remember very much following in the
Cenk
footsteps.
Uyghur.
Piker starts building
That's so
an online
funny.
empire, turning his
Cenk can't even get that shit when he's the star.
So this is, I just want to say, this is a minute and a change. You didn't have time to look
Chonk
up the
Jaeger.
pronunciation of the one proper noun that you
New
didn't know
Jersey,
how to
shout out New Jersey.
I mean, I think that they do this all the time with any name that is foreign. Like, they're trying to disparage
it.
people. It's why they still don't pronounce Zoran Mamdani's name correctly.
Yeah, Ruben goes crazy on Zoran's name. Zahran.
I don't know enough about this Fox News guy, except that he interviewed Grace Mauser recently of DSA. So he's on this anti-DSA beat for Fox
Okay.
on the weekends.
He's catching up, old man.
But I do just love how he has the
Let's go get the spray paint, come back, and then we'll do some. Pal World.
Either of those three, any of those three. But I find it interesting that Fox is even bothering to demonize Hasan, but we'll continue. And we'll continue.
Why?
That everybody from Ro Khanna to Abdul El-Sayed
I mean,
wants to be on.
Emma's
AOC,
right.
and he turned
They
this
would be
country
smarter
into
to
an
just
audience
ignore
of
him.
10 million followers.
Because
Part of
pretend he
why
doesn't
is
exist.
So front and center as a voice of young Democrats.
Because it didn't work out with AOC, you made her a superstar.
Appear on his show. They're literally like, it's like Joe Rogan trying to get on his show. If you are a far left progressive Democrat,
Joe Rogan of the left.
He's Joe Rogan of the left, official.
Inbred defended Hamas, continues to do that, and apologized.
Flashback to Jägermeister, threw up on the wall. Oh God, it's okay. I never drank Jaeger, dude. Black licorice? Black licorice?
Using Palestinians and torching their homes on the West Bank, and tell me that they don't look inbred. Like, the
What is
Trumps
this?
look inbred too, gotta say. I mean,
Oh,
I
that's
think
my
Eric
money
Trump
from my
is
gang
a little bit of a
territory.
vibe.
Nice,
We
nice.
can make fun of people for looking inbred, and it doesn't just have to do with their.
Oh, I'm running
I would
on
say
this
it's, yeah,
space?
borderline
Nice.
slander to call all religious Jewish people what is
No.
it? Inbred.
Check out
He
this
called
space,
the
folks.
deranged settlers that are on video looking. I mean, with
Wasn't
buck
it someone
teeth.
in his chat? Like, yeah, it was. I can't remember. I thought it was.
This
I've seen
Space
a clip
TV,
where
where
it's
I'm
like someone in his
live
chat that was
Tuesday,
defending, like,
Wednesday, and
genocide.
Thursday.
But I do love
usually.
that they have an addenda. They have an addendum to the America Deserve 9/11 piece, because like you may have already heard this one
Jaeger,
before, but we've
it can
also
be
got
good.
this insult on Israeli settlers to throw at you.
Let's grab
And
this.
apologized
Let's grab
after
a
saying
safe.
that America deserved 9/11. In the latest firestorm, addressed college Democrats in a Mao-style suit. Look at that. And it's interesting, guys.
This is so
because
funny,
just
dude.
think, the list,
It's the suit you can.
I mean, look, Hasan is dressing in that manner, right? And he's trying to.
It could be a
evoke-
Deng Xiaoping style suit.
I'm telling you,
Or a
that
Hillary Clinton.
It could be exactly. He is giving homage to the girl boss queen of the Democratic Party, Hillary Clinton.
Probably would have been scarier to this geriatric crowd if he said a Hillary-style suit than Mao.
Right.
They're like, what, he's dressed like a cat? Ow.
It's kind of shocking because to mention, like, just focus, like, don't mention anything he said in the speech.
No, just focus on his
He
attire.
did it in this suit.
I know.
Look at what he was wearing.
I know, and you know what's funny is that Hasan has been consciously trying to wear like button-down or regular suits so that he knows
He wears them on stream now.
When
yeah.
he goes on Fox News, he says, "I know I'm going to get clipped, and I don't want to scare these grandmas." So it's like the producers.
Isn't
were
it
like,
fucking hilarious? I wasn't capable of moderating
He
intake.
wore the
Yeah,
Hillary
I
Clinton
understand.
mouse suit.
I've been
for
there.
this speech,
I've been there.
And we are going to be able to show him in that. Don't play anything about what he said, though. It might make too much sense.
Yeah. Also, David Packman did the exact same thing. Hassan gave this speech in that suit.
Well,
and,
this is David Packman said that.
Yeah. You wanna find it?
Fine.
David Packman.
I mean,
being a
like,
cunt.
it's actually quite instructive, honestly, to see how liberals are sounding exactly like Fox News. If this is like the road that he's going to go down here, attacking the DSA left as it surges, I mean, I'm all for making fun of this because this is genuinely harmful.
Exactly at a time where the State Department is.
Trying to criminalize leftists. I mean, read Ken Klippenstein's reporting about this. It's astonishing.
Yeah.
Like they're
Even
doing,
if you can.
McCarthyite blacklists, and this is one of the largest.
How the fuck do I get up
streamers
there?
I think. Do you think it's a coincidence that David?
I love that
Packman
the
was-
actual
was
news is running hit
contacted
pieces
by
on
Boris?
Hassan. I know they're terrified.
Remember when they were making fun of Taylor Lorenz's reporting on this? Has there been any refutation about that yet? Because I haven't seen anything that's legitimate.
Hey, I signed up
about,
for Chorus.
Like their claims. They all
I got
cried
rejected.
and bitched about it. And now
I wanna get paid for
shockingly,
making
these same
videos.
People are the ones that are the most anti-DSA folks who reportedly were in coordination with.
But
this
now that I
company
joined
was
DSA,
paying
maybe I won't get in.
for certain
Again.
services or whatever.
I already didn't get in.
Yeah, here we go.
Where the fuck's the spray
The
paint?
Democratic Party is showing the early signs of the same disease that destroyed the Republican Party.
Disease.
Republicans, back in 2010.
You know that Republican Party that's so destroyed right now?
Yeah, the one that has continuously won over and over and over again.
Okay, and it like passed its agenda, even items like abolishing Roe versus Wade that people thought they would never actually do. Anyway.
Yeah, I care if my party's politically effective, but I guess we just care if they're a little.
It's crazy. It's crazy that what David Packman's doing.
Also, like I don't want the Republicans.
Also, look.
One thing I don't like about.
Little secret origin story about me. I didn't watch it like religiously, but I'd watch Rogan on occasion. And one day I saw Rogan talking to a guy called David Packman, and they brought up, "Why won't you have Sam Seder on?" And he said, "Could Sam Seder embarrass Dave Rubin?" And so I'm watching, and I'm like, okay, I get recommended David Packman videos. I'm watching a couple of those. And I see he has a background, and then I'm recommended Majority Report videos talking about that appearance on Rogan that I just watched. And I'm like, they have the same background. I wonder if they're in the same network. Let me check it out. That's how I found Majority Report. So thank you, David Packman, for leading me to a much better channel.
I
a
guess
much
Destiny
better source of information.
Tried to show up and he was banned from enter.
So Destiny's a creep and stalker, and that's why.
We talked about Destiny showing up on this space. That shit was fucking creepy. Him and Jake Lang, two sides of the same coin.
Like abolish the police, which Hasan is not a police abolitionist. And doesn't address anything. And then he recently appeared on Gavin Newsom's show too. So, but anyway, the point is this freakout is pretty widespread, and it's pretty disgusting to see who's participating in it.
Is there more?
Yeah, we can just.
I want to hear more about what. I mean, does he get beyond the
He does this-
sartorial critique?
He does this weird thing of not understanding why someone like Destiny, who has weird accusations about him in addition to like a rancid ideology, and
I didn't even know he was still like around and
neither
doing
did I
stuff.
really,
Yeah.
and he wasn't allowed in this thing. And then we'll let Packman.
Okay.
Hearing allegedly because the Mao-dressed piker didn't want him there.
Something good came
Mao
from Packman.
Republicans
Exactly.
have been about
Yes.
these clips
He led me to,
everywhere.
and
we'll
I wouldn't be here
Like
with y'all
People seem crazy when they see this
if I wasn't a
stuff.
fan of
And they
MR.
are going to take abolish
that led
the
me to
police and
no
abolish
letter hack
borders
and then this
abolish
space.
prisons and play them on a loop for 6 months. Democrats must act now and intelligently. The centrists don't really do anything. Make very milquetoast fringe suggestions that you don't even really push for. Not working, okay? This
Agreed.
other thing of like end everything, it's a sort of destructive accelerationism, that's also not going to work. So
It's
I
not
think that what
accelerationism.
we need here
You want to see
no
accelerationism?
apologetics for dictatorship.
Look at the Maoist
no apologetics
faction.
for authoritarianism.
The Jamie
no
Peck, like,
harassment,
no progress but
anti-Semitism,
revolution.
No allowing online
wing.
factions to decide which liberals may.
You better
enter.
hope they don't
You know,
get fucking power, bro.
So this
Would
is
I
what's
even have
annoying.
been-
I don't. Would I
You
even
took that
have an
beef over the
audience?
background to
Actually,
heart.
keep going.
Maybe.
I'm sorry.
allowed at that college depth.
Would I even have been allowed at this? This is the.
This is the hysterical. I mean, like, this is a hysteria about being rendered a little bit irrelevant here. He's talking about Mallory McMorrow. No one wanted her. He's saying we need a
Right.
third way between a candidate like Haley Stevens and the far left extremists. No one wanted a Mallory McMorrow.
But he
type.
said he was invited to this thing. Complaining.
That's
Would
what's
I
so
have been
weird about
invited
this.
to this thing I was invited
You
to?
were invited.
Yeah, it's like, would I have been allowed?
I
at this
can't
thing
get
I was
spray
invited to,
painted.
But decided I had better things to do.
It's bizarre.
Because Destiny wasn't. Here's the thing. Well, I'm gonna play it in a second. Let's just get through this. final
Okay,
couple
I'm
minutes.
sorry.
No, what? Would I even have been allowed at that college Democrats thing? They invited me months ago. I don't know. I mean, I couldn't go, so we didn't find out. I've said
Oh, I
before,
forgot I could play
I've never been a
basketball.
Democrat. I don't care about the Democratic Party beyond who offers the better candidates, and usually it's Democrats over Republicans. But we've got to make sure
Usually.
that we don't allow that party, if it is the vessel, at least for now, to something better than what Republicans are offering, to be hijacked.
Literally, how do I get up here?
Hijacked by what? This is so vague and bizarre to me.
He never does get around to saying what they
I know,
need to
pudding
do
brain is
besides
spreading.
not be anti-Semitic and apologetic for dictatorships. Should they be apologetic for genocide and
Right.
apartheid, David? Would be the thing that I would address. Because that's why Pac-Man in particular is throwing these kinds of words around. Is because he's actually fucked up. It isn't the other people that hypothetically might fuck up and do like Stalinist show trials in 10 years. I agree that if that happens, that would be bad, and I will try to stop that from happening. We're not, like AOC said, we can't pass the minimum wage. We're not close to communism. What is happening is ethnic cleansing with American bombs.
Yeah.
And Pac-Man was into the fucking White House to say everything's fine, actually. Don't listen to these fringe leftists
Ooh, I got
too
it.
much. And now he needs to have his own finger to point because otherwise he's uncomfortable. He was on Gavin Newsom saying, people are
No
purity
spray
testing
paint.
me out. People have a problem with positions you have taken, David, and you don't want to address them.
Right, and even if you want to say in this cold-blooded way, I don't care about the genocide
How
of
do I
Gaza, I
get
don't
spray
care about the ethnic cleansing campaign, the reality is that it was a bad issue for Democrats electorally. You can say that the influencers online should have de-emphasized it and helped in this cover-up of it, like some people might have or might have been inclined to do. You can say that. It doesn't matter. We could all turn on a dime and become Zionist freaks overnight. And this would still be getting out on TikTok and social media. There will always be people that will fill this vacuum, and it would have hurt the Democrats electorally regardless of that. We want to see Democrats actually defeat Republicans because it's the only opposition
Oh, it's in
party
his
right now to
bedroom.
the
Oh my
slow roll of
God.
fascism. And this influencer-style argument that is really, I mean, curiously
Silly.
aligned with the Democratic consultant class that is desperate for a left-wing Joe Rogan, but not like Hasan, somebody else, curiously aligned with the way that they talk about it, by the way, is on an entirely separate track, this conversation, from what the voters want. That's what was so infuriating, frankly, about this Maine Senate conversation. It's like nobody cares what Maine Democratic Party voters want. It's like nobody cares what Michigan Democratic Party voters want. Do you care, Pac-Man, that in these districts where these DSA electeds won, that the voters wanted them and said they're representative of our interests? We're, like, why are we having this top-down conversation about how online influencers can manipulate the Democratic base into wanting something that they don't want? Because right now the battle lines are drawn. When he's saying we should strike a third way in between, and this is what the implication is, the crazy lefty and a Haley Stevens style corporatist, that's what Pac-Man's politics would be. The reality is that materially, there is there's a canyon in between those candidates right now because of the money issue. Like, the reason that money is coalescing behind corporatist centrists
Not
in these
fucking
races
bite, bitch.
versus these to McMorrow because they understood what the real deal was and what the battle is. It's a battle right now for the institutions that they represent, for Zionism, for the billionaire class. they're going to go all in on a candidate like Stevens because that's where that is what we're dealing with here, right? And you can't will into the middle of it a wedge who's going to represent some half measure. That's not where we're at right now, and the money is responsive to that reality. We should be responsive to it as well.
Later in the clip, Pacman says he encourages his audience.
Wow, I've slipped all the way up the slope.
These young Democrats groups. And
Dope.
guess what? Majority Report or Hasan don't need to tell people to, because those groups are already listening to us. We already won that battle. I hate to tell you, but even not even just DSA folks. I mean young Democrats.
Yeah.
We drank your milkshake because you fucked up.
I gotta
with
watch
some
that movie. I
major
never watched
questions.
that
And
movie.
on foreign policy, and not just
There Will Be Blood.
October 7th. But the thing with Pacman here is, I'm getting a little bit annoyed with this plain dumb. I don't know even how you pronounce APAC thing. Remember that? But there's this little thing he's on now of, why wouldn't the Maoist suit Hasan Piker want Destiny? And you already put this up, Brian. The Maoist suit Hasan Piker want Destiny to come in because they know they lost like young Democrat groups. But David Pacman knows exactly why they wouldn't allow, because he himself withdrew from a speaking engagement because of reputational concerns, because Destiny was going to share a stage earlier, like a year earlier. Here's the Hasan review on that.
There we go.
Hangburn regarding June 22nd event in Queens, New York. I forget to inform ticket holders that David Pacman has chosen to withdraw from his scheduled appearance at the anti-Trump tour event. Wow. David, why did you pull out of this event, David? That's crazy. That's crazy. So the guy you chose to defend. So when the college Democrats of America do the same thing you did last year, when the college Democrats...
You get the point. Why is Pacman playing dumb about that?
Yeah. Shapeshifter, you got him, Emma. It's so true. People aren't morons. The voters for leftist candidates aren't into cults of personality. With the Plattner stuff, it showed the strength of policy because despite the things that came out, they still wanted those policies.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're seeing that.
It's the platform, not the Plattner, bro.
The slate woman would tell me, I forgot her last name. She would just tell me, they just want some guy.
Yeah, well, she can talk to Pacman about it.
Yes, exactly.
And
You can talk to Troy fucking Jackson about it.
And not like Destiny's.
Young.
I thought I don't really hear from him at all anymore.
No, this was the most recent thing. This like trying to.
Will now.
Bro,
sometimes I see noise and then
like
I don't know where it
if
comes from.
Troy Jackson takes the Senate seat from Collins, it proves you can smear whatever candidates we have. We'll fucking switch them out for a different candidate. Doesn't matter, bitch. It's the motherfucking platform, motherfucker. Finally, after this many goddamn decades in America, people are paying attention to the fucking policies. I'm sorry to yell.
Resonated for me. The possibility of DSA going a little too far is so removed from our current reality. It's not even worth thinking about. If 20 years from now that's a possibility, then that would actually mean DSA has had a lot of success for things to get to that point. But we can deal with it then. Exactly.
Well, I gotta find out. I gotta see it.
Four-person Seder. As far as I'm aware, David Pacman is very much aware of this
Oh,
controversy.
folks, I
and
really
the
appreciate you hanging out with me
accusations
today.
Epstein, and he was
We got
seen
a
complaining
couple
about
more
leftists
hours to
for
go,
dating videos around 3 to 5 months ago.
We're going. We're on a roll.
But Hasan
I'm
was
awake
wearing a
now.
mouse.
So
I had
stupid.
to wake up at 5 today.
It really should be beneath.
My
something
poor,
like that.
poor, lovely
I was
off-screen
the
wife
back
has to
in, like,
wake up at 6
2014.
every
He
day.
can read into facts.
So
if he
proud of
wanted
her.
to. But he'd rather just say like,
Yeah.
he'd rather than respond to anything in Hasan's speech to those young Democrats, say like, we're letting a guy wear
And
a
all of
mouse
you
suit,
being
and he
here,
probably
you have
loves
no
dictating.
idea how warms my heart.
What should we do here?
No
really
idea.
Quickly.
Van Hollen,
I like that.
Sid Rosen.
I mean, we could also cover. we
Dude,
should
the
probably
Sid
cover
Rosen
10.
thing.
I'm wondering if I want more inside information before we cover 10.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we'll cover 10 tomorrow, which is Ken Martin and the DNC, being so far in depth. But this story broke, and I maybe have a little birdie. You can give me some more information before we cover that, and maybe we'll cover it tomorrow.
Or Ken, if you want to be on the show.
Oh, yes, right. I mean, I'm extremely close to Ken Martin. I want to just make sure that he gets a fair shake. Yeah, let's do this. So, Chris Van Hollen endorsed Abdullah al-Sayed. Elizabeth Warren did as well. It's cool to see, especially when you contrast it with the fact that I was extremely disappointed that Gretchen Whitmer decided to weigh into the race over the weekend and endorse Haley Stevens. I mean, yeah, that's the woman whose political instincts brought her to the White House, where Trump
6 a.m.
ambushed her
every
on
day,
tariffs,
yeah.
and then she hid
It's
her
rough.
face from the cameras.
She's fucking toughing it
She's
out.
just standing up
We're
for
trying to go to
people
bed
who weren't allowed
earlier.
at the cool kids table and then would fall through that said table.
Go to the docks where the balls and the
Yes,
Russians.
I guess she is. She's standing up
Get the
against
fuck
the
out of
cool
my
kids.
car.
Okay, let's just play that really quickly. I'm sorry. Haley Stevens, and then we'll play Abdullah.
The cool
al-Sayed,
kids
and then we'll play
table,
Chris Van Hollen,
online.
because I think this might be about us. This clip. Is it on the sheet? Number 4.
I wouldn't say you specifically, but just Twitter. I don't think she knows who y'all are.
a week and a day from this primary.
Then again, I might be wrong. Maybe they're bigger than we know.
Upset that the cool kids are mocking her from the coast, and I just first thought was this Hasan Piker, and then the second thought was maybe this is about us. And if you're calling me cool, discharged.
Fucking Emma, dude, let's go. Fucking Emma.
They're doing the cool kid chatter. Some of them might be the coastal elites. Making fun of how
Where's my meme?
Not okay. Says my governor. But let's be real.
Sorry.
They're making fun of Michigan.
I am Michigan?
They're thinking they're better than us. And what they don't know is I am your voice. And their jokes
hope
and
not.
their criticism only makes me
Says a
fight
coastal
harder.
elite. All right, I think we're good. You can see Clyburn behind her as well, endorsed in that race. She's doing the Benjamin Netanyahu.
Fucking
I am
hilarious.
Israel.
I
We are
am
Michigan.
the Senate.
I am Michigan, and if you criticize me, you're criticizing all of Michigan. How's that gonna work? Is all of Michigan some sort of corporate entity for APAC?
Why is she more Michigan than Abdullah Sayed?
There you go.
Because she white.
I mean, that's a good question. There's so many.
Is she more
races
Michigan
on
than
even in the
Eminem?
misogyny
I don't think
stuff,
anybody's more Michigan
There's a
than
lot of
Eminem.
Islamophobia, and white women love to traffic in this, victimizing themselves with Muslim people. Israelis are quite good at this as well.
The fact is, she loves talking about this because it's not talking about how much money she gets to sell out American interests to Israel.
Yeah, she gets to victimize herself as she gets, as a genocidal lobby, spends tens of millions of dollars on her behalf. But she's the underdog. Because, woman.
Look, am I going to get 100
it.
of those? No. But if I see it, I'm going to try and
So,
get it.
on the good guys
Alright,
team,
it's gonna
here's
happen.
Chris Van Hollen, who is speaking.
Shout out Chris Van Hollen,
at
been
this-
doing
at a rally
great.
For Abdullah Sayed over the weekend in Ferndale, Michigan.
He knows where the
and,
wind's blowing.
some
He knows
audience
where he
member
wants to still have a
calls
career.
out for Chuck Schumer to be replaced, and Van Hollen chuckles a little bit.
It's pretty simple. We want someone who's going to be there for working people in Michigan, and of course, the United States.
Every time I'm on the tracks, I'm like, I'm going to turn a corner and the train's going to be there.
And we need to make sure.
Come on, Chris.
We need to make sure that we have somebody who understands that the status quo is unacceptable. It's pretty simple.
There you go. I mean, that's a little bit of an acknowledgement that they need a new Senate Majority Leader. When are you guys going to take your shot, though? I gotta ask. And I wonder who they're lining up against, because
Still waiting for him
behind.
to weaken.
Right.
You know, he's so
I
strong.
have to do a stealth mission?
Chuck Schumer, just the grasp he has of the political moment. I wonder if Van Hollen wants to run for president, but if he doesn't, I mean, of course, I think he's the front runner for anyone that's left of center that wants somebody to represent a better version of the Democratic Party in the Senate. He went down and actually got
please
results
don't tell
in
me
the
this is
Marbury
stealth.
Garcia case.
I guess the question is, like, do we want the leader in the Senate to be somebody who has, like, some sense of statesmanship
what am I supposed to
and
do?
awareness of the world, or do we want them to be a money funnel?
We'll have to find some way inside.
And I would love to be proven wrong that it's not going to be another money funnel.
Well, Brian, you know, we'll see. Brian Schatz wants it, and he's been kind of like playing both sides, and he's been associated with this leadership structure. I mean, we'll see.
Here's
But
the thing, like when it comes to younger politicians, unless they have a very close to my politics, I don't want to see them promoted.
Yeah.
So I'll pick the older guy if all else is equal.
right, because they would cement their power a little bit more. I mean, that's why they're desperate for Alyssa Slotkin to be a part of leadership in the Senate.
That's why I was never. I don't know, like it's bad that Hakeem Jeffries is getting the chance, but maybe we can burn through him too.
Maybe we can, and we shall see. But like the money piece is amazing because the DNC, and we will cover this tomorrow, is so in debt that these individual candidates are doing okay because Haley Stevens or candidates like that have outside money that's being spent on their behalf, and then you have Ossoff or Abdul Al-Sayed, right, who are doing quite well with small dollar contributions, but no one wants to donate to the Democratic National Committee. The party nationally has the most toxic brand in politics, and it's evidence in their balance sheet. The Notice reported over the weekend that the DNC had to put its physical headquarters up for collateral last year because they were so in debt they needed a $15 million line of credit. And, oh, wow, they need that line of credit. Well, maybe they must have figured this out by now. Just kidding. Federal disclosures from June show that the DNC has $16 million in its account and $18 million in debt. They are $2 million in debt right now in an election year. In a midterm election year, the DNC is $2 million in debt. You want to guess how much the Republican National Committee has?
My experience at St. George University was life-changing, and if
All
I
right,
could do it over
I got
again,
the
I
wrong